The voice of Alex Cuthbert, Grand Slam winner with Wales, part of the last Wales team to win here in the Six Nations in 2012. Also got a couple of England Grand Slam winners as well with Matt Dawson. And Paul Grayson's on the touchline. Grace, give us a wave down there.
Hello, chap.
Conditions absolutely minging out in Rome. Much better down there?
On the walk down, I had a quick look to the southwest, which is where the weather's coming from. And it looked reasonably bright. We've had one big downpour. Ball will be wet and greasy. Intermittent showers, perhaps, but no excuse not to give it a go.
Oh, he's broadening his skills, isn't he? There with his
By the way,
forecast.
Pitchside analyst and weatherman.
I made that all up.
But a serious point, Paul. I was in the Stade de France Thursday night and it rained all day, and you saw Ireland go into a kicking game and France saying, no, we're all right, we'll play some rugby. How much you've coached teams, you've played in teams at the highest level. To what extent do you have to tweak your game plan for a wet, greasy ball, or to what extent do you go, actually, we should be good enough to handle regardless of the weather?
Ultimately, you've got to use the conditions to your advantage to create the scenario where you really do want the ball. Now, that can come from short kicking, contestable kicks. I was just having a chat with George Furbank here on the touchline, trying to pick his brains for what England are talking about. They're talking about contestable kicks, winning the scraps, and then playing. So when you've got the ball in a good position, you've promoted yourself up the field, then you go for it and put all those shapes and short passes together, which is exactly what France did against Ireland.
Alex Cuthbert, Wales have seldom come to Twickenham with, well, over the years, even with a really good team you're in, no one ever came expecting to win at Twickenham, but I can't remember Wales' team coming here as such underdogs. But just take a trip down memory lane. You won Lions Test matches, you've won Grand Slams, you've beaten big teams in big states. What's it like for a Welshman winning here?
It is no better feeling.
The smile on your face, the listeners can't see it, but it's broad.
I was so lucky enough, I joined the team in 2011. I remember 2012, Six Nations, England, Twickenham was the first ever game I've ever played here. The atmosphere, what I loved was the week build-up, just how much bigger it is during the week in training, the press, when you go back home, everyone's just all they want to talk about is this game. And then when you get here, it really does live up to that bill in terms of just how exciting. I was a 21-year-old. I remember Scott Williams in whatever minute it was, ripping that ball off Courtney Laws, and I knew he'd scored under the post. But then England came back, they won the kickoff, and they had an opportunity with Strettle in the corner.
Yeah.
You think dead cert scored the try, and our hearts sank thinking we'd lost the chance to win a Grand Slam, and then luckily the TMO at the time gave us, and it was the best feeling in the change room after. Dawson, that's what I miss about it, is when you do get the big win here, what everyone sees, but it's underneath the change room, and what people outside don't see is what I really take away from this, especially this game.
Yeah, amazing. It's not many teams win at Twickenham in the Six Nations. For Wales, 2012. Before that, 2008, and before that you've got to go back to 1988, so even great Welsh teams haven't had a load of joy here. And this is the problem, Matt, isn't it? Those brilliant memories from Alex, that was a Welsh team that had got to the semi-final of a World Cup a few months earlier, stacked with quality, stacked with belief, and for me, the belief is sapped out of Welsh rugby. How do you, if you're Steve Tandy, try and instill a bit of that belief when there isn't the kind of body of work to suggest there should be?
Well, it's a lot easier when you have an enormous fixture to stir the bowels of the ship to come on then, what have you got? Because let's be brutally honest, if Wales are not on it today, if they are not 100% sharp on every single facet of play, they are going to get taken apart. They are. So that sharpens the focus enormously, and that won't be lost on the players, it won't be lost on the coaches. I don't think it's particularly lost on the fans that Wales need to be there. So there's a challenge, and I don't care what country you play for, but particularly in this, the experience that we're lucky enough to have in this Six Nations, you don't get many of these opportunities, and that will be spoken about this week for this Welsh side. Is, well, let's see what you've got. We believe in you, you believe in one another. There'll be 80,000 people and millions of people around the rugby world won't give Wales a chance, but they will. Within their squad, they will, and they will be building that throughout the week so that they are as close as they possibly can be to that 100% sharp for as long as they possibly can be.
17 minutes till kickoff. It'll be on us before you know it. 20-5. England just finishing their warm-up. They're going to go back inside, just running past Our man on the touchline, Paul Grayson. Wales still hitting some bags. We'll talk England in a sec. We're going to hear from the captain, Jamie George. But Grace, in terms of, look, we know Wales are a proud bunch of players. They're going to show up. We know that. But tactically, how would you go about it if you're Wales? England team just walking past you, and that's an England team that are absolutely high on life after 11 wins last year.
Yeah, England will be confident but wary. From a Wales perspective, realism has to come into it, pragmatism has to come into it, but they can't come onto the pitch and die without giving it a go. They picked a back row to compete for the ball, but also the reverse of that is they picked a back row who can all play with the ball. So they can't be afraid of, at the right time, chancing their arm and using their skill and athleticism to ask England some questions, because we all know that the needle moves quickly. If you get a break and an early try and you can quiet Twickenham down a little bit, the longer that goes on, the more your confidence builds. But ultimately, they've got to do as much as they can right. Don't worry about the mistakes. Give England everything that they've got, because they are underpowered. They aren't as good as England at the moment, but their only way to win here is to believe that this is the one chance they'll have in their life to do it and give it everything.
Well, it would be one of the most famous wins in Welsh rugby history, and there have been many of those. Let's hear from the England camp. Jamie George will captain the side today. He also led the team the last time England hosted Wales here at Twickenham. A 16-14 win. It was tight back in 2024.
They're physical, they're confrontational, they're competitive. Like, every aspect of the game is a contest, and like it was like ultimately enjoyable because we came out on top of it, but you knew you were in a test match.
How do you control where your emotions are at with England now? And I'm not talking about just you as England, I'm talking about your opposition with what Wales are going through right now, because off the pitch there is an amount of chaos going on, and there's a lot of emotion going on for a lot of those players as well. When you look back to the 10 tries that were scored at the Principality, the year that you guys have had, which was incredible last season, how do you pitch this emotionally correctly when you step onto that pitch?
You try and be aware of what's coming. Obviously you don't know exactly, but you get a good idea of, you know, the emotion that will come with what everyone's going through in the WRU at the minute. Equally, we're very clear on, we're back at Allianz Stadium, it's the first game of the Six Nations. Like, we want to set the tone for like what will hopefully be a very successful tournament for us, and like there's also emotion that comes with playing for England, you know, like, and I've spoken quite openly about that with the boys. I've spoken about it in the media. Like, I don't think we should ever shy away from how much it means, and like, you know, I'm not saying it's, you know, our emotion is different to their like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, you know, I know that their motivations will come from a lot of other factors. Like, our motivation is still very much like trying to be the best team we possibly can be, and like showing how proud we are to be wearing an England jersey at the Allianz Stadium.
Did you get to talk much at all with Dowie Loke when you were at the Six Nations launch about anything going on? Or? Yeah,
like we had a good chat about it. Like, I just feel for everyone that's involved. You know, it's such a difficult time, and like I understand the frustrations and the difficulties that are going on, and you know, I really hope that it gets settled, because, like, you know, the players and the people involved, you know, they probably deserve a lot more than that.
And then taking it back to you as England players after the success of 2025, how important is it now that you take this to another level altogether?
It's always been the thing that I've loved the most about being a part of this group in particular with Steve. It's like, where can we take things? Like, you know, we've had a lot of plaudits over the last 12 months for, you know, how well we've played and the results that we've got and all the rest of it. And it's like, you know, come and watch us train once, come and sit in a meeting. Like, it's very clear that we're not resting on our laurels. Like, we are pushing, we're trying to get better. We want to be the best team we possibly can be, and build and win things along the way. And, you know, that's like that, when you get that appetite and desire to, you know, and it's infectious within a group like that, that's a team that you want to be a part of.
I'm sure you don't read any of the media or the news or anything, Jamie.
I read the news.
You do? Okay.
Not the sports news.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a bit of rugby news, so this might be news to you, I don't know. We found out in the last 24 hours that when ITV show your game, that when a scrum is called, they might play some adverts. over the top. Now, you're heavily involved in a scrum. I was wondering how you felt about that.
I'm not a massive fan of it. I think that there is a lot that I think there's theatre that comes in scrummaging. I think it's what makes rugby union special. I also think that, I spoke to David Flatman about this. I think what he does when he's a pundit around scrummaging makes it fascinating, and he's right. He's very insightful. More of that needs to happen. There's so much good stuff that comes with it. You pick up a bit of chat on the ref mic, you get a bit of an idea, you're close. It's such a big part of the game now, and I don't like that. I don't necessarily know how it's going to look. So I'm reluctant to criticise too heavily, because I'm sure that ITV will do it well. But I think you're missing a trick by not, glorifying what a brilliant spectacle scrummaging can be.
Really interesting stuff as ever from the England captain today, Jamie George, talking about the scrums and talking about where England are at, and also how much they're going to respect Wales despite Wales's barren run. This is still a Wales team that will pitch up to Twickenham full of energy, full of passion and pride. But Matt Dawson, when it does come to England, you've had this perfect seat we've got on the halfway line as we build up 10 minutes away from kickoff. We've been here for years watching England, whether autumn, Six Nations. England are in a good place now. We've not always said that, but after the last year, you do feel the corner well and truly turned.
Yeah, they are, no question, in the best place. I think the best place for decades, actually. I think the players look very comfortable in the style that they want to play, maybe rather than the style that previously they've been asked to play. It looks like it's being dictated by the squad, not just the senior players. There's a great turnover of talent, of youngsters coming through, and they're being tested, and they're coming through those tests, whether no matter what opposition is in front of them, no matter what England team is going back to the summer last year at Argentina, England are finding a way, and I'm all up for putting more pressure on England. Give them the expectation that they should be winning these home games. They should be going to Paris for a Grand Slam decider. Put the pressure on, because if they've got any aspirations of lifting the gold trophy, you've got to be able to handle the favourites tag, and this is perfect conditions for that.
Because that's the thing, Paul Grayson on the touchline. France sent a message, didn't they, to the rest of the championship that France-England game on the final weekend does loom large. England have to think of what might be. They must dream, they must aim high, while also taking every game one at a time, like they'll no doubt do.
Yeah, what a great start it was to the championship. France with some changes, whispers of pressure on Galtier, a few big name players missing or left out, and they were superb in every aspect of the game, and set the bar, which is as it should be. You want the first crack to put your marker down, as we say. England get their opportunity today, and as Dorf just touched on it, it was like the last round of fighting talk. Every post-match interview, defend the indefensible, Steve Borthwick. Tell us why what we're watching is not rubbish, because it largely was. That's completely gone. You come here with the expectation of performance and a playing style that excites and delivers results at the same time. Then when you are pragmatic in the conditions, that's not just your default setting no matter what. So excited stadium, excited England team. I would say don't worry about the scoreboard. Make sure there's plenty of content. Wales are very tired with 20 minutes to go.
The voice of Paul Grayson, touchline for us. The players are in the tunnel. We are building up to kick-off, which is just over 7 minutes away. A huge red rose flag on the pitch. I'm just looking around to see how many Welsh have made the trip from the west. How many have come down the M4 to the home of English rugby? There's plenty of red in the crowd, but more sort of pockets, isolated pockets, Alex Cuthbert. And I suppose when you look at England, this is what will focus the Welsh mind, is that if they're not on it here, then England could do what they did to Wales last year in Cardiff. Heavy defeat.
Yeah. I spoke about, I think the first 20 minutes is absolutely massive for Wales in terms of, I said to Dawson, in terms of when momentum and pressure builds, especially in the stadium, and the crowd gets in and you're underneath the sticks, maybe 5, 7, 12-0 down, who in that Wales squad is going to grab hold of it and change the momentum? Because that, if nothing happens then, that's when it could get nasty. And we saw that last year at home, didn't we? You know, when it started escalating, they couldn't stop that momentum. So whether we're going to see that tonight, I think we're going to see a fight back. I think we're going to see a lot of passion from a lot of these players. Some boys not played in that team for a long, long time. But how long can they withstand that pressure from England?
Yeah, and I'll go through the two 23s in a moment, because stress on the 23s. Yes, the starting 15s are the ones who get the whole thing going, but England, one of their big assets over the last few months has been bringing on some power, some experience and some class off the bench. The teams are out. The two hookers captaining today, Jamie George leading out England, Dewi Lake leading out Wales. The anthems are on the way. In a moment we'll have a moment's applause for Tony Bond and Peter Squires, two former England internationals who sadly died over the last couple of months. So we'll pay our respect to those greats of English rugby, and then the Wales anthem, the England anthem, and kick-off, which is just over 5 minutes away at a packed out and expectant Twickenham, a place where Wales have some happy memories, but they're few and far between. No win here since 2015, no Six Nations win since 2012. The games have been tight and cagey in recent Six Nations memory, but all going England's way. Now we remember Tony Bond and Peter Squires.
Please be upstanding if possible for the national anthem of Wales, performed by Lisa Daffody.
Here are the anthems. Well, wherever Welsh rugby's at, that anthem never fails to stir the soul.
Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Here's God Save the King.
Performed by JJ Lamb, God Save the King.
Here we go then, one of the greatest rivalries in sport, England against Wales, Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. We're moments away, and Paul Grayson, expert analyst on the touchline / weatherman. How's it looking? I can't tell if that's rain or smoke in the air.
All good, that's just the pyrotechnics, Chris. Mild, dry for now. As I said before, no excuses, should be a good one.
England line up like this: Ellis Genge, Jamie George and Joe Hayes, their front row. Alex Coles and Ollie Chesham are the locks, with Maro Itoje on the bench. Guy Pepper, Sam Underhill and Ben Earl, the same unit that went so well in the autumn. That's the back row. Alex Mitchell partners George Ford 9 and 10. Fraser Dingwall and Tommy Freeman, the Northampton connection in the midfield. Henry Arundel's in for England on the left wing, and Tom Roebuck on the right, with Emmanuel Weboso a late withdrawal. Freddie Stewart's at fullback, and England's bench, as ever, stacked. Luke Cowan-Dickey, Bevan Rodd, Trevor Davison, the aforementioned Itoje, Tom Curry, a multiple Lion, Henry Pollock, Ben Spencer and Marcus Smith. Wales are Nicky Smith, Dewi Lake and Archie Griffin. Dafydd Jenkins and Adam Beard in the second row. Alex Mann, who scored here a couple of years ago, is alongside Josh McLeod and Aaron Wainwright. Thomas Williams of Gloucester is at 9, with Dan Edwards at 10. Ben Thomas and Eddie James the midfield. Josh Adams, Ellis Mee and Lewis Rees-Zammit back in a Welsh shirt after a stint with the NFL. He's at fullback. Liam Belcher, Reece Carey, Thomas Francis, the front row replacements. Ben Carter, Tane Plumtree and Harry Deeves, part of a 6-2 bench like England. Kieran Hardy, Mason Grady, the rest of the Welsh bench. The ref is Pierre Brousset of France. Nick Berry and Morne Ferrara are the two ARs, and Tuel Trinini is the television match official. Wales are all in red with their white socks. England all in white with their dark blue socks. And we're almost ready to go. England-Wales, Matt.
Yeah, take a breath. I think it's going to be a feisty start, Alexis. You can just looking at the national anthems, you can see Dewi Lake, they're just, you know, getting on the edge of tears.
I think so. I think Alex Mann will be in the middle of that. He's already spoke about it.
Here we go then. Referee Brousset says to Dan Edwards, let's go to work, and he belts it from right to left, down the throat of opposite number Ford. Ford returns it, where it's taken by Wales and Josh Adams, who's stepping a little bit. It's me on the right wing, actually. Josh Adams near us here on the left wing, as Wales go over halfway and they work it to the right. Thomas Williams to his forwards, just over halfway. Opening stages, 5 Sports Extra will be with 5 Live in around about 10 minutes when the football's wrapped up with Mark Chapman and the team. Swing Low Sweet Chariot, the first strains you can hear in the Twickenham air, as Thomas Williams pops it into the box. Expect a lot of contestable kicks, as Mee is in a good contest with Stewart. It does come back on the England side, not particularly cleanly, but England won't mind that too much. Here's Ben Earl, has had a great run in an England shirt, wearing number 8 again. He sets it up just outside the 22, and Alex Mitchell passes back to George Ford. Early stages, 1 minute gone, England 0, Wales 0. Ford and Edwards, the two fly halves, exchanging kicks with the boot. It's dry here, but expect a tight, cagey tussle in the opening exchanges.
What is touch?
Just checking in with our listeners on 5 Live. We'll join them permanently when the football's wrapped up, as Rees-Zammit is charged down by Underhill. Earl is onto it. Good start this by England, and this is dangerous for Wales as England edge up to the 22. Guy Pepper is caught, but he gets it away to Joe Hayes. Advantage being played by the referee. England have a free shot here a bit as Ellis Genge, with that idiosyncratic carry of his right foot, he steps. George Ford on the gain line. Options inside, there goes Earl. Just short of the 22. Mitchell to the left. Genge again carrying a few times, but he kind of got in the way of a teammate there, but it's a penalty. And I imagine England, Matt Dawson, look to build a score unless they are really, really gunning for Wales and stick it in the corner.
Too many options for England there. I think on that turnover from a fairly ropey kick. Good charge down from Sam Underhill, but there were too many options for England. Rather than them just getting into their pattern, it was, I mean, don't get me wrong, I quite enjoyed it. It was very excitable for every single player to want to get their hands on the ball, but it just needed a little bit of calmness just to get into their turnover pattern.
Yeah, we saw there, didn't we? Lewis Rees-Zammit having to work an awful lot off one kick, come all the way back, and then he's just taking his time, isn't he, to get that, and he hasn't quite caught it. Sam Underhill, great charge down, but we saw off the charge down how many English players are around the ball already. Talk about those crumbs off, kick taps or charge downs like that. They were all over it.
Yeah, they were. That was the hallmark of the autumn. The moment there's a loose ball, England have got 3, 4, 5 number 7s in their 23. George Ford bang in front, bit of a low scudder, through it goes. England up on the board. Let's bring in Paul Grayson on the touchline.
Interesting, that kick chase battle, Chris. It was Dan Edwards who partially charged down George Ford's clearance, which meant it didn't travel anywhere near the normal distance. So Reece Zammit was under pressure because Underhill was on him a lot quicker than he might have expected.
England lead at Twickenham by 3 points to nil. George Ford, 477 points, one of the great point scorers in English rugby history. And we've got another one with us, Paul Grayson, and his 400 points for England. Only 4, Johnny Wilkinson and Owen Farrell have scored more. As Alex Mitchell, does he look for touch? No, he goes for distance, finds a decent kick. But Lewis Rees-Zammit, a little bit of space perhaps, but he is caught by 2-3 England players, including Henry Arundel. He'll be pleased to have got an early input defensively, the Bath man. Wales have it just inside their own half. Steve Borthwick forecasts 50 contestable kicks from Wales. That maybe is a little bit of hyperbole, but they've certainly put a couple up in the opening minutes. Tester for Stewart, who comes forward, loses it. That's good for Wales, knock on. It's a penalty, because England were offside. That's exactly what you've got to do if you put up a contestable, Alex Cuthbert.
Yeah, unbelievable chase by Ellis Mee. He's been on fire this year, the Scarlets, in terms of that area of the field. I was thinking maybe were they going to change the point of attack in terms of those exits and trying to kick off Dan Edwards, trying to get away from Freddie Stewart, because that's what he's very, very good at. But this kick is on the money. Ellis Mee's good chase. I think Freddie Stewart has been real bad winded there, I think, isn't it, on his back. Great chase by Ellis Mee. Penalty, I wouldn't be surprised they go for post here. Just going to level, hopefully.
And all of a sudden, I mean, you can understand the Welsh tactic. Freddie Stewart had a couple of wobbly moments in the autumn, so they'll want to just check him out. And that's not necessarily going to help when you've dropped one, contested previously, and didn't take it keenly, taking a whack to the ribs. I bet it won't be long before there's another one up there.
You can tell he's winded really bad there, isn't he?
Well, Freddie Stewart had the run of the place aerially for a while, but since the new laws came in, really cracking down on players blocking, he, like any back three players, found it a bit tougher defensively, and Wales have kicked to the corner here. Yes, Edwards could have had a go for 3-all, but they're going to have to chance their arm if they're to pull off something special this afternoon. So they go to within 12 metres. Lake front of the line now. Josh McLeod, the Scala. Good to see him get a start, but that's frustrating, isn't it? Wales immediately blocked. The worst thing really when you get some good field position is to give away a soft penalty like that, and England have the penalty and they can get out of here.
You cannot imagine that Wales are going to get a bucket load of opportunities in this game, and that was gift wrapped, and it's marginal. That's a really hard call there to give. Maybe by the letter of the law it is correct that Jenkins was screened. However, that's a less off for England. Wales looked like they were going to be set for a nice ball.
Frustrating one, that, Alex.
Yeah, opportunity. Like Dawes said, they're not going to get many in that 22, and they're going to have to be a 50-60% conversion rate to really stay in this game, I think.
England, through George Ford, went up almost to halfway. Then they win the line out at the front. So England 5 metres in from the far touchline. Over under the east stand. We're on the halfway line at the front of the middle tier of the west stand. As Mitchell puts up another box kick. Tester for Mee, who takes it really nicely, but it's a penalty against Wales for obstruction. So a couple of soft Welsh penalties have given England a chance to go from 10 metres from their own line. Now George Ford can go to 10 metres from the Welsh line.
Yeah, he didn't need to do that as well. And what I noticed there is Josh McLeod was in the front line. He's already noticed how these kick battles. He's raced back to help Ellis Mee and getting that breakdown. I think they're obviously noticed something. They're going to come really hard there.
Look how quick that changes. 10 metre line out for Wales, 30 seconds later 10 metre line out for England. You can bet your bottom dollar that England won't be screening any lifters. They will be squeaky clean.
Yeah, they go to the front, they win it through Ollie Chesham, and heave is the cry from the 80-odd thousand. Yes, there are a few Welsh supporters in here, but as you would expect, a partisan home support for England. Use it, says the referee. Out it comes to Dingwall. Nice ball, Tommy Freeman. To within 5 now, to within 3. That's big power from the Northampton side. Oh, they're queuing up on the right here, England. Skipper Jamie George. Roebuck's hugging this right touchline. George Ford wants it, so does Underhill. He can be much closer, could Underhill. Out it comes to Ben Earl, who scored against Wales before, and he's under the cross, but there are numbers here, aren't there, for England? A bit of composure, but Wales flock forward. Penalty advantage against the Welsh. Does Mitchell go quickly? Do they scrum? What's the verdict here? Paul Grayson, what are you doing if you're England?
Play up, play on.
They're tapping, as Grace said. Ellis Genge, couple of metres out. England, they lead by 3. They can go into a double figures lead here if they can score a converted try. They are on the Welsh line. Alex Mitchell digging for it. There are numbers to the left. George Ford, nice ball into the corner. Henry Arundel on his return to an England shirt as a starter. He's got his 9th test try and just his 12th cap. That was a walk-in for the Bath man. Lovely ball across the defence from Ford, but maybe a bit too easy for England.
Yeah, and way too easy. They're just winning those first collisions, aren't they? And Mitchell has just got the choice. He can go blindside. He's got numbers on the. This is a great here. You see the little tip pass here to Freeman, who gets through Eddie James first, and he fights. He powers his legs right to the line. That was the killer, wasn't it, Dawson? In terms of giving them that momentum. And they're always in the ascendant scent.
Yeah, such control from England, such patience.
Pierre, all
People,
clear.
yes, trucking it up, but trucking it up with support. They didn't need to make a yard. They were happy with gain line, but it just wears the opposition away until all of a sudden Wales are biting in. They're all looking round the fringes. George Ford pops it over, pops a conversion over. They're looking for the fringes because they're worried about the power, and then the brilliance of George Ford to go, oh, okay, your shoulders are in here. Let's just zip it across you and stroll in for Arundel.
Yeah, it's the options, isn't it, Dawson? Mitchell, he's either got Farrell out the back, they've got Genge on the short line. You know, there's just too many options there. And when you don't win that first up collision, you're going to get that all day.
Kick off by Edwards. Ford looks for touch, finds touch. Paul Grayson.
It's a sign of a good team when you're close to the try line. You move the ball at the right time. All the carries were to score, but the clearance and the movement of the ball to the next one were done with pace, which is why Ford gets 2 willing decoy runners. Easy flat pass across to Arundel to score.
The voice of Paul Grayson on the touchline. World Cup winner, Grand Slam winner. England lead by 10, Deno. They scored an early penalty through George Ford, and then a nice ball from Ford. Henry Arundel with a walk-in. Ford converted. Ominous start this for Wales. England well on top after 10. England lead 10-0. Just checking in with our listeners on 5 Live into the closing stages of all the football, by the way. Arsenal Sunderland's our commentary with Ian Dennis and the team from the Emirates, but all the full times going in across the football leagues in Scotland. And when they're finished with that, they'll be across to join us here on 5 Sports Extra for England against Wales. We're just 10 minutes old, with England leading by 10. And Ford, who's had a lovely start to this game. And on Alex Mitchell, Alex Cuthbert mentioned it there, Matt Dawson. You've had some moments in an England shirt behind a dominant pack. What's that like when everything is going forward and you can just pick your moment?
Yeah, you're building a relationship with the players, and what types of player like a certain type of pass. You know, all of a sudden it's not just find a player and truck it up. You're picking out Ben Earl on a slightly wider steppy arc, or you give it to Ellis Genge because he's coming at 100 miles an hour. All these relationships are starting to make sense between Alex Mitchell and the players around him.
England line out just inside the Welsh half. Nice drill again. Ollie Chesham off the top. He comes to Mitchell, and then Ford. Oh, that's a horrible ball. It's one of those Gary Owens that spirals, a spiral bomb. Reece Samet does take it. He's flattened by a couple of English players, including Freeman. Did well to take it, perhaps not absolutely nailed from Ford, but I wouldn't want to be under that.
No, that was moving an awful lot. But what it was a great kick, because I think it was just outside the 22, and he's been dragged back in, hasn't he? But it was a 4-man line-out, so Wales have got to expect that kick off a 4-man straight away. They've got to be alert.
Thomas Williams, Antoine Dupont style, going off his wrong boot with decent distance. And then Ford with a more conventional up and under, asking Stewart to chase. Forward comes Edwards, takes it well, then he's levelled by Stewart, but Dan Edwards shows good composure. Or if England managed to counteract this, Alex Mitchell is pointing with some urgency at the referee. And I think they might have got it back, England, yeah. Big tackle from Stewart, counteract. Oh, there are numbers here for England. Out it comes to Ollie Chesham, who's in the wide expanses, the galloping lock. An advantage again to England. Ben Earl, who's enjoying himself so far, he throws a dummy and he scampers deeper into the 22. There for Alex Mitchell on a plate across the defence. Ellis Genge drops it. It went backwards, no advantage. England have the penalty.
Shame that Ollie Chesham just watching Mr. Olivon last night for France.
Thursday night.
Thursday night, I beg your pardon, yeah. Just thinking he had the ability to get round the outside arc, rather than giving it to the Gas, who was outside him and get on the supporting line. But for a minute, looked up, saw the turnover. It looked like a 4 or 5 on 2. Should have finished it.
Yeah, it would have been a walking in the corner, another one for Corey Arundel, wasn't it? But it's so ominous in terms of how physical England are at the breakdown. Their gain line every carry, it just seems they're on the front foot the whole time. Bit of afters here, we see Alex Mann and Ellis Genge expected to be. It's good to see. I haven't seen we haven't had a little dust up yet, have we?
Well, you just think back to when Wales had that line out, and then
he's going to have a look at this.
Pour moi, ça mérite une pénalité. C'est après
No,
le
hold on. Yeah,
He's definitely going to have a look at this.
What have you spotted?
Ellis Genge had no need to go in head first. Clever bit of skullduggery.
After my whistle, number 1 from England, go to push with his head, the opponent head, so it will be the piqué reverse. Okay, against
sorry,
number
say
1.
that again.
I will reverse the piqué against number 1 because he come to push with the head.
Penalty to Wales.
Yeah, penalty. It's not a headbutt, it's just a push, but I don't want to see that anymore.
Completely fair.
Unnecessary, yeah.
number 1 white on 6 red.
Just a push for me, penalty for you.
So it won't be a penalty to England. George Ford had the ball on the floor ready to pop it over for a gimme 3, but instead it'll be a penalty to Wales and a chance, Paul Grayson, on the touchline for Wales to get out of a part of the pitch where they've been in a lot the last few minutes.
Well, we saw what happened when Wales gave away 2 straightforward penalties, unnecessary penalties. England went from their own 10 metres from their own line into their Welsh 22 and scored. Wales have now got the opportunity with needless contact from Ellis Genge, which takes some momentum out of what England have been so good at so far.
So it stays England 10, Wales 0. 13 minutes gone here on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. All the best coverage on the BBC Sport website as well. Our listeners on 5 Live will join us in the next few minutes, just wrapping up the football over on 5 Live. If you're just joining us here on Sports Extra, England through Henry Arundel have the game's first try, then they get up there and nick Wales' line out, and this is where Alex Cuthbert, I know that Wales are such heavy underdogs here, but if you're going to get anything from Twickenham, you need to be pretty squeaky clean in your line out, your discipline, and when you do get a little bit of field position, knock off the ball up.
Yeah, they've had no field position or territory have they, at the moment. It's all England. That was another 4-man. They're obviously looking for another crossfield bomb. Another kick to the feet here, and England are probably sort of winning this battle a little bit.
Yeah, who's won those scraps or those crumbs? It's England. Me got up, but now it's England in a bit of broken field. Ford looks for a kind of, it wouldn't be a 50-22 because it was passed back in, but it's a kick that has Josh Adams scampering back, and he hooks it to touch. It's not a bad clearance from Adams, but it's still a decent territorial gain for England, and they can throw into the line out in between the 22 and the 10.
Yeah, clever from George Ford there. Last second, rather than thinking that he was going for a long wiper kick, a split second turn of the right toe just to bring it in field, so it was in between 11 and 15, and made that sort of made it a little bit more indecisive for Wales's back three. Very clever.
Yeah, George Ford, when he has that front foot ball, he is the most dangerous 10 out there, isn't he? And Wales have got to win that physicality battle.
Yeah, he was talking this week about having that 3-pronged attack, pass, kick and run, and England are passing now with Ford finding Roebuck, who was a late call-up after Emmanuel Boso pulled up in training on Thursday. Roebuck was very nearly fit for selection originally. They wanted to give him a few more days, but he's got to play now. As Ford puts it, that is a perfect spiral bomb. What a tester this is for Reece Sammet, who takes it. Well done, Reece Sammet. Rather him than us underneath that one. Dan, talk us through your vantage point of that bit of skill from George Ford, Paul Grayson, and the take from Reece Sammet.
In open play to hit a spiral bomb, you need to be on the front foot, which England consistently are, and then to get it that high and not kick it 60 yards. It's an amazing bit of skill. Brilliant catch though from Reece Sammet.
For your information,
England 10, Wales 0. Just waiting for Wales's free kick. Someone just getting some treatment over there as Reece Sammet hooks it to touch. He finds his touch, but it will be an England line out in a dangerous position. Thanks very much, Ian Dennis and the team at the Emirates, and all the goals as they go in. We'll bring you all the full times from across the Football League. Latter stages in some games are finished. But here at Twickenham, it's England 10, Wales 0. After 15, almost 16 minutes of action, and with England playing from left to right, we've spent a lot of this half looking right, perhaps as expected or as feared from a Welsh point of view, and now England get a penalty advantage, so they'll get a chance to try and turn the screw further, Matt Dawson, and the Welsh are incurring the wrath of the referee, who's going to talk to the skipper.
Yes, too many penalties for going against Wales at the moment. Lake getting a little bit of a grilling from the officials. Because it's England are on the rampage
from the side and collapsing
with or without the ball. They're on the rampage at the moment.
They look so well organised, don't they, in terms of just what they're trying to execute, just building their phase. As soon as they get in this 22, they know exactly what they're doing, don't they?
3 Grand Slam winners with us in commentary. Alex Cuthbert, who you heard from just there, part of the last Wales team to win here in the Six Nations. They won on the way to winning the Grand Slam in 2012. Matt Dawson and Paul Grayson, Grand Slam winners in 03. We'll hear from Paul, whose touchline for us. Oh, another advantage to England as they try and work it down the short side. And England just methodically putting the boot in here, Grace.
Yeah, they are. Wales are trapped in that cycle. They're going to concede a yellow card here. Alex Mann, I think, going to the bin.
This is, 30 seconds ago, Grace had just had a warning, and then Lake's got to get control of his team. That's mindless.
And they're playing with desperation, aren't they? Because they're under so much pressure. They're just looking
number 1 with the headgear. Number 1.
A tenth of a second to get through the middle of the ruck or the maul. I beg your pardon.
Too many penalties from the team.
Yeah, Nicky Smith it is going off. He's been sin-binned, so Wales are going to have to defend on their own 5-metre line. George Ford pops it into the corner. Right, let's get a quick full time from Coventry Oxford. John Bennett.
Coventry 0, Oxford 0. Another blow for Coventry's promotion push. 3 without a win now. They wasted so many chances. Hadji Wright the worst culprit, and Oxford will down to 10 men for the final 14 minutes. Coventry 0, Oxford 0.
Nice one, John. Yeah, Coventry stumbling, aren't they? Wales are stumbling here at Twickenham. 17 minutes gone. England 10, Wales 0. England with a drive right through the guts of the Welsh ball. Are they up to the line? They couldn't be much closer here, England. Mitchell comes to the right. There's Tom Roebuck. Roebuck, he scored against Wales last year. He's held up his EH just short. An inch or two short is Tom Roebuck.
No one in front of me.
Jamie George is talking to the referee. Almost felt that there was some illegality at the maul from Wales, who, remember, just went down to 14, and Dowie Lake is in constant conversation with the ref, Pierre Brousset. Another yellow card. Is it Lake himself, Alex Cuthbert, who's going off?
Yeah, I think so, and it actually could have been a penalty try. England have been really brave there in the line-out. They've won it right at the back. They stopped the first one, Wales, but as soon as they fractured round, there was only one way. They were probably going to score a try there, so to actually not be a penalty try on a yellow card, this is going to be a some period. I spoke about before the game talks about who's behind that post now, talking to this team, trying to change this momentum.
Yeah. The difference in conversation with the officials right now, where Lake's off the field. Where do Wales go for that experience, that communication? Whereas you've got Jamie George thinking that he's got the referee in his pocket right now, discussing that. Shouldn't that have been a penalty try if it was a yellow card? Just in a very nice round, very sort of Sam Warburton type of relationship that he's having. Goodness me.
Yeah, that kind of politeness that sort of belies the physicality of a rugby player. But yeah, Sam, one of the great captains, always did it in a manner that endeared himself to the officials. They're going to have to make a change here, aren't they? Because they need a full complement in the front row. So they're having to make a change to bring on Liam Belcher. All the full times now in the Premier League. The last one, Wolves, Chelsea at Molineux. Mike Maine.
Wolves 1, Chelsea 3. Damage done in the first half with the Cole Palmer hat-trick. 2 penalties in the third, fired into the roof of the net. Wolves won back with a Rockadare in the second half, but Liam Rosenia makes it 4 from 4 in the Premier League. Wolves 1, Chelsea 3.
England are scrumming against 13, but time for us quickly to go to Sani at Hull. Sani.
Hull 2, Bristol City 3. Emil Rees brilliantly played through with what became the winner. A blow for playoff placed Hull, who faced Chelsea in the FA Cup on Friday. Hull City 2, Bristol City 3.
Nice one, Sani Rajavajula at Hull City against Bristol City. England 10, Wales 0 here at a packed-out Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. Oh, they're scrumming against. So how do you do this, Alex Cuthbert? Do you have to get someone in on the flank who, from the back line?
England have literally numbers outfielder. Thomas Williams has to come in the front line. I think he's sat in the boot at the moment on the 15-metre line. England here, if they get this right, literally have a walk in.
Yeah, really, they should be scoring here, England, and they're rolling towards the line. Mitchell, short to Fraser Dingwall, who's a metre short. Lightning fast ball. George Ford, he's going to cross pass for Arundel. It drops into Arundel's basket. He dots it down. England have another try. Executed to a T. And there were multiple ways England could have scored there.
It's just intelligent rugby. Yes, of course it is. It's physical, it's powerful. What an engine England have up front. But time after time, year on year, England would have just kept that ball in the scrum, probably had another penalty in a reset, and eventually would have scored. Not this side. The urgency for Mitchell to get the ball into George Ford's hands, because they know where the weakness is. They know, they've practiced time and time again through a couple of phases, finding the space, little cross-field kick. It's like clockwork.
It is. Execution absolutely nailed on. They could have easily just gone through the phases there, but George Ford, he backs himself. Arundel, another try in the corner, and if it wasn't going to be a penalty try from the scrum, they had so many other options to score. This is real tough for Wales now. They're going to have to do a long, slow walk to half-time, and how do they change this momentum?
I tell you what I also like. Both tries, hardly any celebration from England.
Yeah.
Like a turnaround, walk back, next job, get on with it. That is starting to get a bit ruthless mentality, that, from the off.
Yeah, well, they're third in the world, and Wales 11th. I think they're really acting like it in terms of that, that response, not celebrating how big a game this is, England-Wales. This is just another game for England at the moment.
Yeah, shades of your mob from the early 2000s, Dawes, that kind of relentless ruthlessness. Right, what's the time? 5 minutes past 5. If you're just joining us on 5 Live, expecting Sports Report, we've got the Six Nations, and then we'll be joining Newcastle against Brentford. That kicks off in about 25 minutes' time. You can hear the whole game on 5 Sports Extras. George Ford clears from the kickoff. But headlines from the Premier League. In our commentary game, leaders Arsenal beat Sunderland 3-0, a couple for Gyökeres. Villa were held to a 1-1 draw at Bournemouth, third place Villa. Christian Romero sent off for Spurs as Man U won 2-0. United stay fourth. Cole Palmer with a hat-trick. Chelsea winning 3-1 at bottom of the table. Wolves.
You've got the option of this cross.
West Ham beat Burnley in the big game at the bottom. Fulham were 1-0 up, and then Everton with 2 late goals to win 2-1 at the Cottage. So Everton coming from behind to beat Fulham. And as I mentioned, Newcastle against Brentford kicks off at 5:30. First half commentary on Sports Extra before we pick it up here on 5 Live after the rugby. And Mark Chapman will bring all those results from across the Football League at half-time here at Twickenham, which is in about 20 minutes. So we're a quarter way through this game. England are 15-0 up, Matt Dawson, and Wales have gone offside, have they, in the kicking battle, and England have a scrum just outside the Welsh 22.
Yeah, in front, going against Wales again, finding themselves in relatively good areas and getting dragged back another 50 yards. I'm still sort of getting over the fact Chris Jones sounded surprised that Everton won 2-1 there.
Well, only because
but I'll mention it a little bit later. But
only because
my dispatches,
my Fulham supporting mate Jack was convinced that was a Fulham win today, and they won the lot for most of it. And Everton scoring 76 and 83 to win 2-1. Big result for David Moyes' side. 21 minutes gone. England 15, Wales 0. And this is the thing, when you're 15-0 up and you've got playing against 13 men, what a set piece to attack from England, and their scrum is motoring forward, and Alex Cuthbert puts his head in his hands as George Ford comes deep to Tommy Freeman. Freeman, if he'd given it to Tom Roebuck was in that right-hand corner, Paul Grayson.
Yeah, he was. He'll want that one back, Tommy Freeman, off his left hand. Didn't pay it due diligence and flicked it behind Roebuck into the stands, but it's the hunger and the appetite. We talk a lot in rugby union about the attitude you have to have in defence and the collective aggression. You can have exactly the same hunger and desire in attack. You've got this pack of animals who will do whatever you tell them to do. George Ford sits in his seat. He is the wolf who decides which bit of the opposition we eat next, and England are doing it brilliantly.
And it's sometimes not easy to play when you are so dominant, because you only got to be switched off just for a little bit like that example there. That should be 2-on-1. give Roebuck a go. You've got to be on it all the time.
England are off, having kicked to the corner of Freeman. Those are very easy meters. He's up to the line. He's scored, has he? Tommy Freeman. The crowd thinks so. No, he's left it for Mitchell. Jamie George, the skipper, peeling around under the post. Mitchell digs for the ball. Ford is desperate for it. Wales, remember, down to 13. Ellis Genge crashes over. He's held up. A little bit, perhaps, of white line fever from England, because Freeman's carry was so good. And against 13, kind of a million ways England could have scored, but Wales, to their credit, hold up the rampaging Loosehead, and they'll get a goal line drop out the Welsh.
Yeah, I don't think Freeman knew. If he literally put the ball out, he probably could have scored, couldn't he? He was right on the line, but just the pace, the accuracy. Look at that carrot from Freeman, straight through Dan Edwards, straight through Ben Thomas, and then it's just options all over the shot for Mitchell there, and Wales did really well to keep Ellis Genge there for so close to the line.
Brilliant scrambled defence. Look more difficult to not score from Ellis Genge there.
Against 13 men as well. Wales with a couple of players in the sin bin. As England attack again, we have been looking right this whole half. Fraser Dingwall on the gain line, nice ball from Ford, and now wide from Freeman. He's got Roebuck with him, still Tommy Freeman. Scored a try in every Six Nations game last year. Pepper inside to Underhill, the Bath flankers combining. It's lightning fast ball on a plate for Ford, deep to Dingwall. Joe Hayes the decoy, wide ball from Stewart. Ben Earl looking for the corner. Earl scores another try for England in that left hand corner. Big smile, the thumbs up celebration from Earl, and England up to 20.
Yeah, lovely patience from England. There were potentially an opportunity for Freeman to give it to Roebuck, but you could see that the previous pass was maybe rattling around in his head and decided to tuck it under his arm. But fantastically quick ball, 2 phases, and all of a sudden it goes wide. Dingwall quietly orchestrating in the midfield, giving it to the right players. And when you've got someone like Earl on the wing, playing like a wing, why not give it to him, Alex?
Yeah, exactly that. Great width, isn't it, from Earl? But what I don't like as a Welsh perspective is there's a wide breakdown, and they've gone 1 pass, 2 pass in the corner. There's no line speed. I know there's 13 men. They can't really compete in the breakdown, but just someone make a decision and try and disrupt it. It was just literally a walk-in for England.
George Ford converts from the touchline, and on the near touchline for us is Paul Grayson.
That's exactly what we were just talking about, the ruthless ability. You're against 13 players, you know there is space there, but you still have to pay attention to the detail. Tommy Freeman didn't take the risk this time, therefore we have a quick breakdown on the right hand side, and then everyone did their job straight when they had to. Ball out in front, good basics, and then Ben Earl, wing centre back row, he looks comfortable anywhere.
8 tries for Earl now on his 47th cap for England. Another player edging towards a milestone, like Samara Toje, a couple away from 100. Talking of a Toje, when he comes on in the second half, Steve Borthwick talking about the amazing reception the England skipper will get after a difficult few weeks for him personally. England lead by 22 points to 0 against the Wales team, who are down to 13. Nicky Smith, there's a minute left on his bin. Dewi Lake, there's a minute 40, so they will be up to a full complement soon, but a fair bit of damage has been done, Alex.
Yeah, massively. It's like 2 tries. They've just had no territorial possession, have they? Lewis Rees-Zammit there, he's sort of fielding balls, but the defence from England is just absolutely relentless in 2s and 3s, and Wales, all they can do is kick back and try and get scraps off that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We saw teams like New Zealand and Australia go side to side around the halfway, and England were all over them in the autumn, so you fear Wales don't want to fall into that trap, so they're kicking. This one's a bit too far from Williams. Stewart takes that with comfort, and England have the ball back. Where's that gone? It's going on the far side, so it was a rip. The officials kind of talking, and it's a knock-on by England, so actually that kicking choice there from Thomas Williams has borne fruit, because Wales will have a scrum not far from the English 22, and absolutely non-negotiable that when they do get a scrap of ball and field position, they make something from it, Matt.
Just a bit of context with both Alex and Chris talking about here. England's 72% possession. Thought it might have been a little bit more, to be very honest. Territory, Wales have only been in England's 13% of the game. I mean, the way that England are defending, particularly in the conditions, really clever. They're compressing because they're dominant. they can compress, and therefore it's very difficult for Wales to get outside, so they're going kicking, whereas conversely England are creating quick ball when they've got the ball, and Wales can't compress. If they do compress, they go around the outside. So life is going to be very, very difficult. Even when the other players come back on, I think this life's going to be pretty difficult for Wales today, unless they sort the defence out.
Yeah, England are working incredibly hard. That first 2-3 threes is, especially in that middle third, in terms of what we talk about, that kick battle, because teams don't want to play too much in there, and if Wales don't get any momentum off one or two, they're always going to kick it back.
Paul Grayson.
Just thinking about what we said pre-match, that when you're massive underdogs like this, you've got to try and be perfect. You go all the way back to that first attacking line-out that Wales had. England took their time to compete. Wales made a basic technical mistake and then gave away a cheap penalty, and the spiral was downward from there on, and England relentless and physical and in the position that they are now. But part of that 13% of territory that Dawes was talking about was an opportunity to attack, and they made a basic fundamental error.
No free kicks, the message there you heard from Jamie George, the skipper on the day, urging his front row to stay squeaky clean with their discipline. Wales have got one of their best attacking positions of the whole half, which is 27 minutes old, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It's a Twickenham now that expects, after those 11 wins last year, and England well on course for 12. But that's a good carry from Aaron Wainwright for the Welsh. Thomas Williams now comes to the right, where Wales through Archie Griffin drive up not far from the 22. Here's McLeod the Scarlet in his red scrum cap, and now Williams pops it up to Wainwright again, helped out by the experienced lock Adam Beard, winning his 62nd cap for his country today. Wales near the English 22, yet to score a point. It really has to come soon, doesn't it, for Wales, if they're to get some confidence. Ben Thomas, and there's a big counter up though from England, and they're all over that Welsh ball. I think they've got it back. No, it was illegal. They've come off their feet, England, and Wales have the penalty. And you'd expect them to go for the corner, Alex Cuthbert. Got to get it right.
Yeah, 100%. Really good work from Ollie Chestnut at the breakdown. The physicality, they are absolutely smashing Wales at this breakdown, aren't they, at the moment? And they're having to just go zigzag. They've gone more than, 5-10 yards side to side. I know that they're back to near enough a full commentary, but the work rate of that England batter at the moment at the breakdown is massive.
I think every single player was in between the touchline and the first post, apart from Louis Rees-Zammit and Freddie Stewart. You know, and there's only going to be one winner in that competition.
Wales are back up to 15. Dan Edwards has gone to sort of 12 metres. You wonder whether he could have gone a bit closer to the 5, especially with Wales having no opportunities, then losing their line out. There you go. It was a knock-on first by White, though, so knock-on first by England. So Paul Grayson, Wales do get the scrum, but does Dan Edwards there have to just chance his arm a little bit more?
Yeah, without question. Obviously, you don't want to make a mistake of flirting with the corner flag, but from where he was to leave his forwards so many less options, you want it absolutely clear. England going to keep their players on the ground because you're minimum 7 metres, and you know the driver's coming and you have to defend it. It makes it so much more difficult for his forwards, because England are happy to throw players into the air because the threat of the 5-metre driving maul just isn't there.
England 22, Wales 0. Nearly half an hour gone at the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham, but Wales do have a scrum inside the England's 22 where they have seldom been today. Referee Brousset, the Frenchman, setting the forwards who engage, and then Brousset not happy and wants a reset. As the camera pans to Steve Tandy, Penny for his thoughts. First time he's taken charge of Wales in the Six Nations. France next week at home. Before games that might then become a bit more winnable, but the danger is confidence being damaged a bit before those games against Scotland and Italy at home, Alex.
Yeah, there's nothing to grab hold of so far this game, is there, in terms of Wales. You know, they've had one opportunity we spoke about earlier in terms of that momentum, then went into England's favour, and it's just been constant now. I spoke before the game, how do they stop that and try and get it back, and that they haven't been able to do it.
Well, talking of Italy, what a win for the Azzurri in Rome today against Scotland. A crushing start to the Six Nations for Gregor Townsend's men. Italy winning by 18 points to 15 in an absolute dogfight in horrendous Rome conditions. England win the free kick from the scrum. Ford so good at finding grass with his kicks, He managed to make 60, 70 metres. Rees-Zammit returns well. England outside their own 22. Freddie Stewart counter-attacking from the quick line out. And Stewart striding up nearly to halfway. England now working the short side. Alex Mitchell with a dummy. Ollie Chesham wanted it, but Mitchell set it up. Ford playing at scrum half. Now Genge links with Alex Coles as the England forwards, a bit like the French the other night, enjoy getting the ball in hand. Ford pops a little kick down the throat of Edwards, who takes that without too much difficulty. He then whacks it downfield, where the ever studious Ford manages to read it, and then he puts a bit of an old classic spiral where Thomas Williams gathers just outside his 22. Then he kicks looking for Gross. Ford is back there, he takes it. Ford seems to be everywhere, and he'll look for touch. Willie, the England 10, finds it. Good kick, landing right down by you, Paul Grayson.
He's having fun, George Ford. Pulling out old school little low bulletin spiral to the right hand touchline, using the turf, which has still got a bit of dampness to it, to skip the ball, winning the kicking battle easy and doing it all himself.
Right, in about 7 minutes, we're going to go for our Premier League commentary on Sports Extra, Newcastle Brentford. The rugby stays here on 5 Live, but it's a half-past kickoff, half-5 kickoff for Ailey Barber and Pat Nevin at St James's Park. And we'll be with them for build-up at about 25 past 5 on Sports Extra. We route through the Premier League scores in a moment. In the Championship, Coventry, as we were hearing from John Bennett, held to a goalless draw by Oxford. In League One, Cardiff stayed top. They beat Rotherham away. Bromley drew 1-1 at Fleetwood, the League Two leaders, Bromley. Dunfermline and Partick Thistle are through to the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup. Celtic Dundee kicks off in a few minutes, and we'll have updates from Martin Dowden from Celtic Park. And here on 5 Live, all the results at half-time, but of course you can get them on the BBC Sport website and app. And we'll have reaction to games like Arsenal against Sunderland, with the league leaders in the Premier League winning by 3 goals to 0. Wales have it on the halfway line. They've just managed to stem the tide a bit. I know it's slim pickings at 22-0 down, but Wales have had a little bit more ball. They're going to get a penalty here. Genge,
you prevent the first
you may have heard his displeasure at the tactics from Thomas Williams, who just threw it into Ellis Genge. But he was loitering, he was miles offside, and it's a penalty to Wales, who are enjoying a bit of a better spell now, Alex, if we're going to be positive from a Welsh point of view.
Yeah, they won the crumbs off the high ball there. Adam Beard won that, but then they looked to go out the back, and Freeman so hard up the line. There was just nowhere to go, was there? Absolutely smashed Ben Thomas back 5-10 yards. Just the speed and the physicality of England at that moment. The defence is just giving Wales no options really to get any momentum or gain line.
Ellis Genge just needs to sharpen up his act here. He's given away a couple of penalties. He is one of our leaders. There's no question he's one of our leaders, but just not quite leading in the right areas for a very dominant side. Can't afford to get lazy on a day like today. You're going to get caught out.
Well, Wales had a line out, and it malfunctioned. It was quite a simple ball to the front, but it didn't go to hand, and now England are attacking on their own 10. Forward, oh, what a carry, Ollie Chesham, and he got an offload away to Underhill. It went forward. Underhill took it brilliantly, just behind him with his left hand. And Chesham a few times. You mentioned Charles Olivon for France in the Stade a couple of nights ago. Ollie Chesham don't get too many opportunities in big test matches as a second row to have that kind of space, but
great tackle from Thomas Williams there, though, on the scrag, on the way back. Managed to grab him with his left hand on the shirt, and then his right hand wraps around the top, slaps it out of his hands, makes the offload difficult. On this occasion, impossible. Brilliant tackle.
Great attack and shape there. Grace will probably talk a bit about it, but how many options has George Ford got? Short ball, and then he hits Chesham on a line there. It's just inevitable, and as soon as they get that gain line, they just look really good when they go in full flow.
Yeah, Paul Grayson, that must look good for you from the touchline.
Yeah, when you can have Ben Earl go into the line as first receiver with 2 props running off him, ball out the back, it's manna from heaven for George Ford.
Well, Wales have got the free kick, but then their attack goes wrong. Arundel's in for a hat-trick here. A walk in for Arundel. And a 35-minute hat-trick for Henry Arundel. What a day he's having, what a day England are having. Wales got the free kick, they went to attack, their move broke down. Fraser Dingwall always reading the play, and a man with Arundel's pace was always going to walk it in from there.
A simple free kick move, butchered by Wales. But listen, you've got to have the pace to finish those tries. But give another mention to Dingwall, because it was a brilliant scoop up, and there was nothing on his mind other than giving it the wheels.
Feed the speed, Dawson. That's just so poor from Wales. Such a, Eddie James is not even a short ball option. There's no pace onto it, and it's just another skill error. We've seen it in the line out, 2 or 3 times, and off a couple of kicks, and it's just such a freebie, isn't it, for England?
Ford tags on the 2, England 29, Wales 0, and Henry Arundel has had a checkered England career. He came into the team with such fanfare in 2022 and then wasn't used so much in the World Cup, went off to France, was ineligible. He did score 5 tries against Chile in that World Cup. One thing he's got is express pace, and he's up to 11 tries in 12 games, Paul Grayson.
Yes, it's a strike rate. He played. Watched him play under 20s, and you weren't quite sure whether he was just a really, really fast kid against other kids. Absolutely not. He's doing it on the world stage.
And you just pointed out, Alex, looking at our stats screen, he's touched the ball 3 times, Arundel, today, and he scored 3 tries. As a former winger who liked bagging them, it's not a bad pay at the office, is it?
No, Tommy Rogers did the exact same against New Zealand in 80 minutes. So Arundel, he could be on for a few more, I think.
Come on, your phone's lighting up here, Jonesy. What's the quickest England hat-trick in the Six Nations? Someone's got to be texting that through to you in a minute, because I can't think of anyone who's done it
No, stop.
Where are we?
35 minutes.
35
yeah, we'll
minutes.
find out the answer to that, because he can't be a million miles away. I do remember Will Greenwood getting one in pretty quick time here for England against Wales, going back a few years. But what a first half for Henry Arundel. England 29, Wales 0. As Wales prepare to kick for the corner, as they win a penalty. So the game, you feel the game's up, Alex, whatever, but this is about Wales building from where they are, which is in the doldrums, trying to find a way out of it. And if they can get something before half-time, if they can compete for parts of the second half, they've got to be looking in sort of 5-10 minute spells, I imagine.
Yeah, I think so. To be honest, I think they need to get in the sheds and just have a real decompress in terms of literally where we are. How do we get momentum? How do we get possession? You're looking at 63%. They've had no ball, they have no opportunity, but the 2-3 times they have, their skill error has been terrible.
Okay, those listeners on Sports Extra, it's Newcastle against Brentford from St James's Park. So if you are on Sports Extra, want the rugby, then switch over to 5 Live. If you're on 5 Live and want the football, switch to Sports Extra. But Ailey Barber is standing by from St James's Park. You're alongside Pat Nevin from Newcastle Brentford. Ailey. So here on 5 Live, we continue with the rugby. 90 seconds left of this first half. England 29, Wales 0. Wales have the scrum. Well, they might have a chance here. Reece Sammet the ball. He then kicks it across for Adams. They've got a penalty advantage though. So back they go. Big chance this for Wales to finish the half on top.
Yeah, it's just about moments. You were talking about it, Chris. Wales have just got to focus on moments. Very difficult. They're 20-0 down. 29-0 down, playing away from home against the old enemy. But this is about moments. This is about getting the drill, whether it's a tap penalty, a scrum, a line out, get the drill right. Driving maul, nick a try, get into the shed, regroup. But there's no fluster, there's no panic, it's just drill.
Here go Wales. They have a 5-metre penalty. They tap and go. They are on the English line. Lake and then Wainwright have a go. 30 seconds left of this first half, and now
the quick tap, the ball is never played.
The TMO comes in and says that Davy Lake never actually tapped it. I mean, Alex, you take over on this one.
Yeah, Dawes just said it then in terms of making sure you execute that moment that you have, whether it is, the quick tap. They just have not been at the races at all, have they, in terms of how they've lost the line out, not quick like that. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I've got to be honest. Listen, I'm an England fan.
Let's go.
That TMO needs to wind his neck in and get on with life, because he made an action for the ball. He may have touched it, he may not have touched it. This is so incidental in a massive game with a massive audience.
Just not what we want to see, is it?
Just just get on with doing something else. Honestly, that's terrible officiating.
What was interesting in the start on Thursday night is how little the TMO got involved. It felt like a big edict from up high to say, let's get real speed in the game, minimal TMO interference after it dogged the whole autumn. Remember, that was all the feedback from the autumn. Load of good games in November, but so much feedback that the TMO was incredibly influential. But then in Rome today, there was a load of TMO, and then we've had an intervention here. Technically right, but it's that question about...
But there wasn't evidence that it was technically right. I didn't see that he did or didn't touch the ball. The ball didn't move, but that doesn't mean he didn't touch the ball with his toe. I mean, probably didn't, but may have. But the fact that we're discussing it is a nonsense that he brought it back to that.
I don't think it should be an issue for their TMO to come in. If the referee hasn't seen it, the play on.
Correct, yes.
And a couple of his assistant refs too. England 29, Wales 0. So England gets a scrum after that Welsh mistake, and then Mitchell finds Ford, who just dribbles it casually dead for half-time. England 29, Wales 0. 4 tries, so they've got the bonus point for what it's worth. 3 of them by Henry Arundel, who scored a 35-minute hat-trick. Russ Petty's answered your question, our stats guru. Austin Healey scored a 9-minute hat-trick once.
Oh, well, no, don't tell me. Keep talking, I've got to think about that. Surely I was playing in that game.
It was in the second half. I imagine he was off the bench, Austin.
Probably against Italy.
It was against Italy, yeah. Second half against Italy, 9-minute hat-trick. Arundel scored one in 35, which is still good going. England, good going, Alex, 29-0 up.
Yeah, clinical. When they have the opportunities in the 22, they've taken them. They've looked really well organised, strong at the scrum, the breakdown, they're absolutely flying in. What I'm really impressed is the defence. They've just given Wales absolutely nothing.
Paul Grayson, players coming right down by you on the touchline.
Yeah, very different atmosphere between the Welsh and the English as they trudge off as a group, downcast. The Welsh players, that's a tough half-time for them. But England, in contrast, I think Dawes touched on it briefly in the first half. No great celebrations, not too many high fives when they scored. What they've been is accurate, ruthless, physical, and dominant. It's a brilliant first half from the men in white.
OK, Mark Chapman, we thought it might be one-sided. It has proved that way. Half-time, England 29, Wales 0.
Yeah, back for the second half. And remember, earlier it finished Italy 18, Scotland 15 in Rome. I'll run you through all the day's football results. We'll get some reaction as well. The 5:30 is at St James's Park. This is on Sports Extra. Until the conclusion of the rugby. Nathan Alban.
Just kicked off, Mark. Newcastle 0, Brentford 0. The atmosphere loud as you would expect. Newcastle boosted by the return of their captain Bruno Guimaraes, but they're without the injured Anthony Gordon. Johan Wissam, meanwhile, plays against his old club. Just the 3 points separating these two sides. Newcastle trying to make ground in mid-table. Brentford, if they win, it could lift them up to 6th. Newcastle 0, Brentford 0.
Fifth round of the Scottish Cup this weekend. Earlier, Dunfermline 2, Kelty Hearts 0 and Elgin 2, Partick 3. The 5:30 is Celtic against Dundee. Martin Dowdy.
Just underway in the last few seconds. Signing news for Celtic within the past hour with former Arsenal and Liverpool midfielder Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain joining until at least the end of the season. He's just been paraded in front of a very sparse crowd with a fan boycott in operation in protest at the club board. That offers unchanged Dundee a slightly more level playing field than they might have expected. A debut for one new Celtic recruit in Norwegian winger Joe Mvuka, Kasper Schmeichel, Dyson Maeda and Arne Engels out of the squad altogether in what's an unusually half-empty stadium.
Not many other games in Scotland today. In League One, Cove Rangers 1, Queen of the South 1 and Inverness 3, East Fife 0. And in League 2, Edinburgh 0, East Kilbride 2, Forfar 2, Dumbarton 0 and Stranraer 0. Annan 0. They're all the games in Scotland. Opening day of the men's T20 World Cup. Earlier there were wins for Pakistan over the Netherlands and West Indies over Scotland, which included a hat-trick for Romario Shepherd. In fact, he took 4 wickets in 5 balls as West Indies defended their total. And then in the final game, India, Prakash, were made to work for it against the USA.
They certainly were. At 77 for 6, it looked like this might be the big upset that is inevitable in a tournament like this. Their skipper, Suryakumar Yadav, shepherded them through with a brilliant knock of 84 not out to get to 161. And then with 3 early wickets, US slipping to 13 for 3, it was a battle which one knew the result of. But the US will hold their head high given the way they've performed. I think they'll take a lot of heart from this, and the tournament really sets up nicely after a very eventful first day.
Thank you very much. Let me give you the Premier League scores from today. Manchester United beat Spurs 2-0. Spurs down to 10 after half an hour. Christian Romero sent off for the second time this season. Arsenal 3, Sunderland 2. 2 goals for Gyökeres in that. Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa 1. Burnley 0, West Ham 2. Fulham 1, Everton 2. And a Cole Palmer hat-trick. 2 of them from the penalty spot gave Chelsea a 3-1 win at Wolves. So the Premier League table this evening is as follows. Everybody's played 25, unless I say otherwise. Arsenal have 56, Manchester City 47 from 24, Villa also have 47, Manchester United have 44, Chelsea 43, and then Liverpool have 39 from 24. Everton have 37. Brentford 36 from 24, although they're in action at the moment. And Sunderland also have 36. Fulham have 34. Bournemouth have 34. Newcastle have 33 from 24. Obviously, they're playing Brentford at the moment. Brighton 31 from 24. Spurs have 29. Palace also have 29, but they've only played 24. Leeds have 29 as well. Forest 26. West Ham 23. And then Burnley 15 and Wolves 8. In the Championship, Derby 1, Ipswich 2, Norwich 2, Blackburn 0, and Southampton 1, Watford 0. They were the lunchtime games. Then at 3 o'clock, Birmingham beat 10-man Leicester 2-1. Coventry 0, Oxford 0. Oxford reduced to 10 in that game as well. Big win for Bristol City 3-2 at Hull. Preston beat Portsmouth 1-0. Goalless between West Brom and Stoke. And in the battle of teams wanting to be in the playoffs, it finished Wrexham 0, Millwall 2. So Coventry have 59. Middlesbrough have 58. They have a game in hand, which is at Sheffield United on Monday night. Ipswich have 54 and a game in hand. Hull have 54. Millwall 53. And then Wrexham and Preston both have 47. Sheffield Wednesday on -7. Oxford on 28, and then Blackburn and Leicester on 32. They are the bottom 4. In League One at lunchtime, Luton 2, Bradford 1, and Port Vale 2, Burton 2. And then at 3 o'clock, AFC Wimbledon 3, Reading 2, Bolton 3, Barnsley 2. Huddersfield came from 2-0 down to salvage a draw at home to Blackpool. It finished 2-2. Goalless between Mansfield and Exeter. Big win for Northampton. They beat Stevenage by 3-1. Peterborough 6, Wigan 1. Plymouth 1, Lincoln 4. Rotherham 0, leaders Cardiff down to 10-3. Stockport and Leyton Orient were goalless. Wycombe 4, Doncaster 0. I'll give you the League One table after Mikel Arteta live on 5 Live after their 3-0 win over Sunderland with George Cummins.
Thanks, Mark. Mikel, sum up how you're feeling. Good win today.
Very, very happy. It was a really tough match, and we knew that they are a top side. They make it so difficult and hard for you to generate momentum sequences with a lot of dominance and threat. It is tough, so you have to stay really composed and calm and make sure that you dominate certain aspects of the game, especially not to suffer. I don't think that we conceded nothing in the game apart from probably the best action when David tries to catch it, and I think there is a foul. And then, the goal helps from Zubi, an incredible finish from the edge again from him. And then the finishes. I mean, when you have to take the game to a different level, change the intensity, the rhythm, the quality, bring different kind of threats to a position, I think they were incredible.
You talked about your finishes all season. We just talked to you about Gyökeres. He's had a bit of stick this season, but I think it's 6 goals in 8 games. So he's hitting form at the right time for you.
I think he's in a really good form. And today, when he saw the lineup, I told him, I said, be ready because you're going to impact the game when the team needs the most. And him, Gavi, when Epps came on, or Piero or Christian, they all know it. And the good thing is that we experience it every 3 days, and we cannot do it with the starters, and your role maybe is going to be more important coming in than starting the game, and that was a real positive thing from today.
What a response from the Man United game, isn't it? What signs are you getting from your team about losing here at home to Man United and then the bounce back you've had, and what's left on the table for what you can achieve?
That you have to stay present in the moment, learn from what happens, whether it's very positive or not so much, is part of this journey, and play with that enjoyment and conviction every single day, because it's still a long way to go. And today we are really happy. Tomorrow we have to review the game and go again, because Brentford is going to be super tough.
You're 9 points clear, so how are you going to enjoy tomorrow? Well, I guess you're going to watch Liverpool Man City with a Sunday roast possibly.
I'm going to enjoy the afternoon first and a good dinner with my family, and tomorrow I'm going to start to prepare Brentford, and in the afternoon I will be watching that with my family and kids.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much. Thank you. Back to you, Mark.
Mikel Arteta live with George Cummins. Here's the League One table for you. Cardiff have 63 from 30 and Lincoln 61 from 30. Bolton 55 from 31. Stockport 53 from 30. Huddersfield 49 from 31. Bradford 49 from 29. Port Vale rock bottom, 22 points. Rotherham have 31. Wigan have fallen into the bottom four after that thrashing at Peterborough. They have 31. Burton have 32. In League 2 today at lunchtime, Crawley 0, Crewe 1 and Swindon beat Oldham 3-0. Then at 3 o'clock, Bristol Rovers 2, Chesterfield 3, Cheltenham 2, MK Dons 3, Colchester 2, Shrewsbury 0, Fleetwood 1, Bromley 2. Leaders got a late winner there. Gillingham 2, Tranmere 1. Harrogate have won for the first time in 21 games in the league. They've beaten Cambridge by 2-1. Newport 0, Grimsby 0, Notts County 2, Barrow 1 and Walsall beaten 3-1 at home by Barnet. Bromley have 62 at the top, Notts County 57, Swindon 55, MK Dons 54, Cambridge 53, Salford 52 and Walsall 49. They have the playoff. They are the playoff positions. Harrogate stay bottom despite that win over Cambridge, but they're now level on points with Newport. Both have 21, although Newport have 2 games in hand. There were some big games towards the top in the National League, which included Rochdale beating Carlisle by 1-0 and York beating Forest Green Rovers 2-1. Elsewhere, Aldershot 3, Halifax 2. Yeovil got a late winner at Altrincham. It finished 1-0 there. Boston 1, Sutton 0. Morecambe 1, Truro 2. Scunthorpe 1, Southend 0. Tamworth 1, Hartlepool 1. And they've played 10 minutes at Eastleigh, and it's Eastleigh 0, Wealdstone 2. So when you look at the top of the table now, Rochdale have 70, York have 68. Rochdale have got 2 games in hand on York, and then there's a huge gap to Scunthorpe and Carlisle, who both have 59. I gave you the Scottish scores earlier. There was 1 game in the WSL, finished Leicester 0, Manchester United 2. United 8 points behind Manchester City at the top of the table. City have a game in hand. In the Welsh Premier today, Barla Town 1, Cardiff Metropolitan 1, Llanelli 0, Flint 2, TNS 6, Pennybont 0 and Barry 0, Colwyn Bay 4. And just to tidy up all the day's sport in the Premiership women in the Rugby Union, Bristol 26, Trailfinders 26, Sale 7, Gloucester Hartbury 22 are the 2 scores that I have. Let's go back to the Premier League at lunchtime. Manchester United 2, Spurs 0. Christian Romero sent off. 4 games in a row now won under Michael Carrick. Bruno Fernandes got their second.
Obviously, when we win games, the confidence goes higher and higher. I think it's very important for us to maintain the focus and not overdo now, because obviously this is very good, it's very nice, but you need to keep going. If you don't win the next one and the next one and the next one, you're gonna get back into the same place where you don't feel comfortable, you lose a little bit of confidence, you struggle to believe in everything that you've been doing until now. But we've been very good until now to do everything that Michael and the staff have asked us, and we've been very brave also to take the responsibility in some moments in the game to go and play and do whatever you need to do to win the game. But the main focus has to be the next game, because these ones are gone. It's 4 wins in a row. It's very nice, but we need to make it 5 now.
Thomas Frank said of the Christian Romero sending off, remember he had that Instagram post earlier this week where he criticised the building of the club's squad. He said, did Frank, I think it's the perfect storm. Of course it's today, it should happen. It's important that this group of players gets better and better at coming back from setbacks. We've been working on it for a long time, and today we showed signs of it. 606, I'm sure would love to hear from Spurs fans. 08085 909 693. Villa now 9 points off Arsenal after they drew 1-1 at Bournemouth. Here's Unai Emery with John Southall.
Unai, give us your assessment. Are you happy with the point?
Yes, very happy.
How do you look at it now? Because obviously you're 9 points away from Arsenal. Are you more now looking over your shoulders at those other teams who are trying to get into the top four?
A few points different with Arsenal. With the power they have. We are doing fantastic season comparing with, of course, Arsenal, with Manchester City. We have our own way. And we must understand how we can fight in the position we are now. The last year, how we did as well, and how we are doing. But of course, we must be so resilient and hard work.
So top four would be, from your perspective, a massive step forward.
A massive achievement. If we are getting top 5, it's a massive achievement for us.
Match of the day, 10:25 on BBC One. Alan Shearer and Danny Murphy alongside Kelly. Any sign of an opening goal at Newcastle? Nathan?
Not yet, Mark. Goalless, 10 minutes in. Brentford did, though, have a penalty appeal waved away. Trippier with a slight tug on Lewis Potter's shirt, but came to nothing. Harvey Barnes down the other end, bent one wide of the target. 12 minutes in. Newcastle 0, Brentford 0.
Some other sports stories for you. Great Britain are through to the mixed curling semi-finals. Bruce Mart and Jen Dodds are unbeaten in 7 after beating the USA and Canada today. Katie Boulter has won the Ostrava Open. Emma Raducanu was beaten in the final of the Transylvanian Open. And Haiti Couleur remains on target for the Cheltenham Gold Cup after winning the Denman Chase at Newbury. Just back underway at Twickenham. Chris?
Wales gather the kick-off, so first job done for the Welsh, but it's the most uphill of all uphill tasks for the visitors, trailing 29-0 at half-time, a place they've not won in the Six Nations in 14 years. As Thomas Williams with a sort of box kick that goes infield, who wants to claim that? Wales eventually do, and they'll have it just short of the 10-metre line. Now Williams kicks again as the rain continues to fall in southwest London. Freddie Stewart, his socks round his ankles, he whacks it downfield, where Wales take it again through Edwards and kick down the throat of Tom Roebuck. It's a bit of kick tennis you often get at the start of these halves. George Fordy's been regal this half, and he kicks where Lewis Rees-Zammit is well positioned. I think every part of him would love to run, but in these conditions against this England defence, he's probably wise to kick. Ford, very cool, very composed. He clears, and after all of that, we'll have a line out to England round about the halfway line. Right, a word from Matt Dawson and Alex Cuthbert shortly, but England have made a half-time change. Paul Grayson on the touchline.
Yeah, Bevan Rodd come on to replace Ellis Genge. No sign of him out of the changing rooms yet. Don't know whether he'd taken a knock or was injured, or he gave away 2 penalties in the first half. That might be enough to get you taken off these days.
I would like to think that there's something other than just an ill-discipline issue. He just didn't quite look as sharp as everybody else. So, as Grace said there, maybe a knock.
There were some rumours flying around that he'd had a bit of a knock in the warm-up, but he was running around there. I will find out afterwards. Genge off at half-time, and Bevan Rodd on, and Alex Cuthbert, Grand Slam winner in 2012. Wales got the ball and then promptly knocked on England's scrum halfway line.
Yeah, first opportunity for Wales. Got the second half, and again, just a skill error again, isn't it? It's a planned move, obviously, from the line at middle of the field. Josh Adams running on a nice short line, just trying to pick off one of the loose forwards from England, but knocks the ball on, and another great attacking opportunity in that 50-22 area as well, isn't it? So what it does, it just puts the indecision of Ellis Mee and Josh Adams in there, the same as Lewis Rees-Zammit, and the way George Ford is playing, he's just like a Rolls Royce out there at the moment, isn't he?
2 minutes into the second half, 5 live and BBC Sounds over on Sports Extra. It's Newcastle against Brentford. They played just over 15 minutes, still goalless. We'll check in with Nathan Alban as things happen at St James's. Ailey Barber, Pat Nevin, your commentary team over on Sports Extra. England scrum, they're going to win a penalty. England, they're bossing most facets of this game. Alex Mitchell wanted to go quickly, as did Northampton teammate Fraser Dingwall, but England will instead go for the corner and build pressure that way.
Yeah, I think the scrum half of me wanted Alex Mitchell to go there to inject a bit of pace into the game, but given the conditions and given the way that George Ford is playing and how I'm going to comment until he kicks it into how accurately he has been kicking the ball. This now all of a sudden I think becomes much more of a threat than on another day a tap penalty and England on the rampage, but a line out on the 22 with England on the charge, very dangerous.
And that's the thing, Paul Grayson, from this line that England have got options. They could maul, they could put it into the midfield, they can launch a play, whatever they can choose.
Yeah, and everybody's on message. All the decoy runners, the clearers are coming in. They are very well drilled.
Well, they throw to the front, win it through Chesham, who's had a big game, and England are mauling down this right-hand touchline. That was the touchline they were bundled into when Wales won famously here in 2015, but no sign of that today. England 29, Wales 0 as Ben Earler first receiver. He scored on lovely hands forward. Dingwall, Tom Roebuck gliding. Is he in, Tom Roebuck? Arundel wants a fourth on this left wing. As Roebuck is stopped a metre or two short. Mitchell digs for the ball. He switches with the skipper Jamie George, who's up to the line and a couple of metres short. Jamie George, options left and right for Alex Mitchell. He goes right to Ford. Ford deep to Dingwall. Dingwall short ball. Roebuck does get his try. Very close a moment ago. Ruthless, clinical stuff from England. So many options to choose from. And the skill from Ford and Dingwall to put it on a plate for Roebuck, who couldn't miss. England get another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cakewalk here for England. They go through 2 or 3 phases. Wales bent out of shape and, of course, just do not have the wherewithal, the motivation, the strength, the mental strength, physical strength to get into position. I mean, Roebuck's butchered that 3-on-1. If you're on that left wing, Alex, you are spewing, by the way. And then to see him go and score it on the other wing, you'd be even more angry.
Yeah, he should have definitely given it Arundel. It's a great play because Ben Earl is such a good link player, isn't he, in between the forwards and the backs, and his skill set of being able to get that ball away, that's what is annoying. They're on their own line, Wales, and they've just let England go pass at the back, 2 passes, and Roebuck should have scored in the corner there. That defence is just not there at the moment.
Well, Arundel's frustration with not getting that ball probably offset by the fact he has scored 3 tries today, which will probably help with his disappointment at not getting the ball there. England lead by 36 points to 0. 6 minutes into this second half. 5 Live Sports Extra for your football commentary. Newcastle, Brentford, but here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, it's the Six Nations. Remember earlier, what a win for Italy. You write them off at the Olympico at your peril. They've beaten Scotland 18 points to 15, a massive win for the Azzurri.
Okay, backwards and knock on wide
and
advantage.
A desperately deflating one for Gregor Townsend and Scotland. George Ford kicks from left to right. Josh Adams runs it back with intent and finds Eddie James on the left-hand touchline. He makes a few metres as England look to counter-ruck. Thomas Williams caught into the ruck, so Wainwright has to play at dummy half, rugby league style, just into the England territory. Do the Welsh go? Wainwright throwing half a dummy, good rip from Freeman, loose ball for the Welsh and Alex Mann, a knock-on being played by the referee. Just a scrum advantage, not a penalty. There's not much going on with the ball in hand from Wales, but Ben Thomas does get it to Rees-Zammit, and Rees-Zammit kicks, finds a little bit of grass, but Freddie Stewart will cut it off. It's actually a really nice kick from Rees-Zammit. Stewart's in a bit of bother here. Ellis Mee with the tackle. Rees-Zammit looking to steal the ball, and they get a counter-ruck here, Wales. That's really good from the Welsh, but they kind of left the ball behind, so Guy Pepper just went and got it. That was the best chance practically of the 47 minutes we've played for a Welsh try, because they had rucked England off the ball, but then Pepper went in there to salvage it for the home side. The odds on an England win, on the win probability, rugby's version of that sort of CricViz WinViz predictor, has England at 100%, which is probably that means there is 0 chance that Wales will win this game, or it's going to be a draw. Josh Adams dances up to the 22. Alex Mann, to Wainwright, he gets away. Maybe the Welsh have heard those odds and are trying to defy the fact that they've got 0% chance of winning, as Thomas Williams finds Ben Thomas, out to Adams, now to Josh McLeod on the right touchline. He does really well to stay in field. Don't know how he has done that. Thomas Williams, the ball is loose. It's picked up though by Mann. Wales are 3 or 4 metres out. Can they get something for their travelling fans? Thomas Williams darting, caught by Rod, a metre or 2 short of the English line. England lead by 36 points to 0, but what an opportunity this is for the Welsh. A few Wales fans you might be here in good voice, despite the terminal nature of this scoreline, and it will be a penalty to Wales, no advantage. As Wales, just down by you, Paul Grayson, managed to stretch England down the right-hand side.
Yeah, they did well there to work the overlap and to stay in field and test England. Some good footwork in the middle of the field to make a half break. Didn't quite see who it was, but got Wales on the front foot for virtually the first time in the game, and any kind of coherent attack. They've got movement on the bench down here as they go to the corner. Plumtree, Francis and Carey have been waiting for that period of you get up to go on and then suddenly your team start playing well, so you're standing around pretending to do a warm-up. But England are stripping off to my left. Some heavy artillery coming on once they get to the end of this passage.
Yeah, there will be some changes when the ball is next dead, but for now we play on as Dewi Lake dries the ball on a red towel. Wales with a 5 metre line out. They've had 1 or 2 opportunities, haven't they, Alex Cuthbert? They've got to try and make these count. Stafford Jenkins at the front of them all. That's a decent setup from the Welsh. Good body positions. Dewi Lake at the tail, the skipper. Heave is the cry from the travelling support. Thomas Williams digs forward. He's got options and he finds Ellis Mee, who's off the right wing. He's tackled by hat-trick man Henry Arundel. There for Thomas Williams as Lake pours round the corner just to the right of the post. 5 metres out are Wales. This heavy deficit, 36 points down. A try would do something for their confidence though, as Josh McLeod carries. Now Thomas Williams, Alex Mann, a metre or 2 short. Advantage being played by referee Brousset as Williams goes to the left, and Stafford Jenkins, who's tackled by Coles, lost forward by Jenkins. Penalty though to Wales, and it might be that England, like Wales in the first half, might be taken by being given a yellow card, or perhaps Matt Dawson, there'll be one more warning against England.
I think it would be fair to have a warning, even though it's 7, maybe 8 penalties
Do I have time to speak to my team or not?
to England, and quite rightly Jamie George will be talking to his team about being super disciplined.
1, 3 and 6.
Well, Wales are making 3 changes with Carey, Francis and Plumtree coming on, and a big moment here. And listen to this reception for Maro Itoje. Very typical few weeks for him and his family, with his mother sadly passing. That's the reason why he's on the bench, but a massive reception for the England captain, who'll resume captaincy duties now from Jamie George. Maro Itoje on for his 19th cap, and you can hear the warmth of the Twickenham crowd for their captain. Tap penalty to Wales as we have a goal at Newcastle for Nathan.
And Newcastle in front at home to Brentford midway through the first half. A corner from the left, and there was Sven Botman up from the back, nodding it down and into the roof of the net. Newcastle 1, Brentford 0.
Thanks loads, Nathan. Ailey Barber, Pat Nevin, your commentary team over on Sports Extra. Jamie George actually is coming off for Luke Cowan-Dickie. Change at tight head as well, with Trevor Davison on for Joe Hayes for England. Maro Itoje on in the second row too. But Wales are so close here. They've had a concerted spell on the England 5 metre line. Another advantage. This will be probably a yellow card against England now.
It's Maro.
Right, well, that'd be unfortunate. It's just come on.
Oh, dear me.
Will it be a team penalty?
Referee, you're not going to be popular here.
Repeated infringement.
It's a good spot, Matt. It is Maro Itoje. He's come on, and there's a huge boo from the Twickenham crowd. That's a number of penalties against England. The next person who commits the offence is the one that goes to the sin bin, even if they've been on the pitch for 10 seconds. So Maro Itoje has been sin binned, and Wales attack to the left of the post. They are just hammering away at the English door, which at the moment is holded firm, bolted shut, as Plumtree drives on for the Welsh. Tame Plumtree on in the back row for Steve Tandy's side. Rhys Carey, the Saracen, he's a metre or 2 out. Thomas Williams digs, finds Josh McLeod, who's been very industrious, the Scarlet skipper. Just short of the line is McLeod. Thomas Williams finds his forwards. The ball is practically on the line. Well, if Wales don't score from this, they'll never score today. Wide from Williams to Edwards, the crossfield kick. It's going to be a try for Wales. Josh Adams scores. And Wales fans to our left are on their feet. When you're 36 points down, you've got to cling on to everything. Wales get on the board. Josh Adams try, England 36, Wales 5.
Yeah, you certainly do. You've got to celebrate when you get them, when you're 36-0 down. It's good patience in the end from Wales. Great execution from Dan Edwards. Made a little bit hard work of it, isn't it? We're just a little bit too predictable at Wales in the 22, but they are hammering away. tested the ill discipline of England and well executed. And Josh Adams scores in that left-hand corner and just gives a little bit of, I guess, just stops the momentum, doesn't it, from England?
Yeah, I think we mentioned it at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
Very unlikely. The predictor says a 0 chance of Wales winning, but they have opportunities to build and make moments and understanding and give themselves some content, at the very least some content to look at in the week, because in the first there was nothing other than ill discipline and negativity. So to have that, just the way that they did plough on, they did dig in under all that pressure, they caused England some problems. That is incredibly, this is not meant to be patronising, it is a very positive 7 or 8 minutes from Wales after half time.
Right, Paul Grayson on the touchline. Loads of changes happening by you and your view also on that Wales try.
Yeah, Harry Deeves and Mason Grady have just come on for Wales. Honestly, at the moment, one-dimensional, just hammering away in the opponent's 22. I think that's just about the extent of where the Wales attack is. Fair play to them for converting it, but much more space and much more width than that, and they've looked painful at times in this game with the small amount of possession that they've had.
Well, England now have a chance to respond immediately because the clearance kick only has taken play just outside the Welsh 22. England 36, Wales 7, 5 Live and BBC Sounds, your home of the Six Nations, at the home of English rugby, Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. Dan Edwards, by the way, banged over the goal neatly from just inside the left touchline. One in the line-out, Guy Pepper, big part of why he's in this team, a good all-round player, but a line-out option at number 6 as well is Pepper. Luke Cowan-Dickie on the money with one of his first throws. Adam Beard is in there, and he's done pretty well for experienced lock, because England's maul hasn't really gone anywhere, but it has been recycled just enough for Mitchell to find Bevan Rodd. He clatters into Welsh defenders, slap bang in centre field, 25 metres out from the Welsh line. England with this handsome 36 points to 7 lead as they look to get up and running in the 2026 Six Nations. Ben Earl, one of the try scorers, he's caught just outside the 22. George Ford is back for a big crossfield bomb here, looking for Roebuck, who is great in the air. Up goes Tom Roebuck, doesn't quite claim it, but Josh Adams, who scored for Wales just now, is in a bit of trouble. And then Harry Deeves it is who nips away with the ball for Wales. 55 minutes gone. Remember, Newcastle lead at home to Brentford. Second half commentary of Newcastle v Brentford here on 5 Live. If you want the whole game, just switch over to Sports Extra now as Thomas Williams clears and takes play almost up to the halfway line. Matt Dawson.
Yeah, England, I mean, they're probably dealing with their bench a little bit. They're probably dealing with a little bit of mental fatigue as well. They were so up for this game. They were so accurate. And it just shows that 1 or 2 players out of position, the odd bad decision, not a terrible decision, but the odd bad decision in the way that they carry the ball up, then all of a sudden it becomes a little bit more disjointed. George Ford just needs to get control.
Well, he tried a little dink there. Tester for Reece Samet in the backfield. Reece Samet, a few players onto him. He's away now, Samet. He's got almost up to the 10-metre line. He's over the 10-metre line. Good strength as well. And he's made 40-odd metres there, Reece Samet. Great to see him with the ball in hand. Aaron Wainwright's up to halfway. Right, what have Wales got here? England defence a bit more set now, so they might have to go to the boot. Ben Thomas's kick. Freddie Stewart will gobble this one up, and he calls the mark. Alex.
It's a great break from Literary Samet, isn't it? From his own half, he's fallen down, he's gone again, they've kept the ball alive, but just keep the momentum going. And Ben Thomas has just kicked a really long kick, and it's just so easy for England there, isn't it? You could tell England have definitely dropped 5-10%, haven't they? Probably even more than that, I think.
Well, they're down to 14, a couple of replacements. Often saw it in the Stade de France, didn't we? In this kind of part of the game, the dominant team just takes their foot off the gas, combined with Wales and Ireland the other night coming back into the game. I mentioned we got a 5:30 kickoff on go in Newcastle Brentford. Also in Scotland, Celtic against Dundee in the 5th round of the Cup. Martin Dowden's there for us.
Still goalless here, but Dundee very close to an opener rather in the last few seconds. Early on, a wonderful one-touch move nearly meant a debut goal for Celtic winger Joel Mavika. He was inches from connecting from close range. Still 0-0 here at Celtic Park.
Nice one, Martin. Wales on the halfway line. They've had a little bit of ball, haven't they, Wales, the last few minutes?
Yeah, they're winning that sort of gain line a little bit. They've had a little bit of momentum, but the defence from England just suffocate you. They come up so hard, they push you back inside, slow that breakdown, and now Wales are stuck in the middle of the field again.
And to Matt's point, it's as Wales lose the ball forward, this is all stuff for Wales to look at. They have games coming up in the Six Nations that are going to be more winnable than England away. That's just the reality. So if they can just work out what works for them and what doesn't, and some of those attacking shapes out the back are being eaten up a bit too easily, do they have to work on some other way to breaking down defences?
Yeah, there's definitely some contrasting moments for Wales to be analysing during the week on what to do and what not to do in this Six Nations. Yeah, I mean it's a tricky one to try and give a picture to the listener at the moment, because it's the game's lost its pizzazz. It's lost that the Louis Rees-Zammit breakaway, but not being able to link. And in the first half, it was England making all the breaks, linking, scoring, because everything was very, very precise. The box kicks at the right time, living off the scraps, walking in 3 times for Arundel, no problem. At the moment, Wales are really desperate to try and find any kind of gap, and like a bit of a boxer, they're punching themselves out a little bit. I fear for them in the last 10-15 minutes of the game. England just need to go back to their original pattern. It feels to me like they're just trying to force things because they're 36-7 up. They don't need to. They just need to go back to what's worked in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, they just sort of lost the intensity a little bit, England. A couple of passes, a little bit behind. It just stops a little bit of the attacking shape. And like you said, Wales, they look like they've got a good plan for the first 3-4 phases, and then they just don't have the pace like England do when they're onto the ball and they lose, and then they have to kick back.
Nearly an hour played, 36-7 to England. The voice of Alex Cuthbert, a Grand Slam winner with Wales in 2012. Also with us, as ever, Matt Dawson and Paul Grayson. Paul, on the touchline, your view of this England scrum?
Yeah, it's a great attacking opportunity. Wales would try and make it as unstable as possible, maybe buy themselves a free kick and possession. But I expect England, if that happens and England get the free kick, to have a well-organised attack that they can try and exploit Wales. Just to Dawson's point about England kind of losing their shape and going back to basics, he's absolutely right. You get to a point where you're almost thinking, which moves haven't we used? What should we try next? That chip kick-off first phase from George Ford, he wouldn't have done that in the first half. It just gets into your head that you need to do something different.
England with the scrum then. Slap bang on the halfway, on the sponsors logo. They lead by 36 points to 7 as we tick towards the hour mark on 5-5. Then they get a free kick, and Mitchell waits to play. And this is an interesting one, Matt Dawson. You've been here, you've been in dominant England sides. Does Mitchell, should he be going there just to try and get some pace into it?
I think I would rather him been doing it than going for an up and under, but then George Ford has absolutely smashed a spiral bomb.
Which Rees-Zammit didn't take, but Wales did manage to get onto it.
I mean, just to Grace's point, that is it's a tap and go, get into your pattern, maybe do a box kick, live off the scraps when you have control rather than sort of throwing up a Hail Mary. But listen, these England team have deserved to put themselves in a position where they can do a Hail Mary because they're 36-7 up, so we can't be too harsh on them.
Yeah, I think they're looking after that yellow card a little bit as well. There's a minute left. I think once Maro comes on, I really feel that intensity will pick back up.
Yeah, Toje's poised, he's stripped off, ready to re-enter the fray as England get a penalty from the line out. Luke Cowan-Dickie's really hit his mark with a few throws, and then he storms down the left-hand touchline. Little kick from Alex Mitchell, Biarri style on that left wing. But it's well taken or well gathered up by Dewi Lake. Number 4 for Wales, the guilty man is Dafydd Jenkins. Straight away from the line out, and now England, well, they will look for the jugular, won't they? 36-7 up. Absolutely exactly an hour gone here in Twickenham, and England through Ford will look to go as deep as possible into the 22.
I've got to say, how accurate has England's line-out been? I don't think they've lost one line-out, have they? And they've all been on the money, haven't they? If it's Jamie George, Luke Cowan-Dickie there, it just gives them such a good platform to play off, doesn't it?
You can't underestimate that either. In these conditions, getting that set piece right, as Alex is saying, spot on.
Right, line out England. Just time for us to go to Newcastle. Are they still leading, Nathan?
No, not anymore, Chris. Brentford have found an equaliser. Cross from the left from Dango Ouattara, headed into the back of the net by Vitaly Janelt. Newcastle 1, Brentford 1.
Thanks very much, Nathan Alban at St James's. Commentary over on Sports Extra. England's line out, as Alex Cuthbert was pointing out, was perfect. And now Tommy Freeman in the midfield. Alex Mitchell to Ben Earl. Wales up quickly through Deeves, but there for Alex Mitchell. And he comes to the left, and Guy Pepper. It's such a good run in an England shirt. He started the last 7 test matches. Chesham now down the left-hand touchline. He's a metre or two short, Chesham. He's had the ball in hand plenty today, the big second row. Bevan Rodd from a good ball from Sale clubmate Ford. Mitchell, 6 or 7 metres out, England. Ford in the quarterback position, lovely ball. Dingwall to Freeman. Freeman was almost in, he couldn't quite get it away. Mitchell, out it comes, Ford left it behind. And then he regathered, he went backwards, says the referee. Ben Earl's a metre short. England attacking. So close to the Welsh line. Freeman once more. He stopped literally inches away from the Welsh line. Mitchell deep, George Ford holds it up for Roebuck. There were numbers out here for England. Roebuck, who scored near the start of the second half. He's given the penalty away, though. He was isolated and then placed the ball illegally.
14 prevent the contest.
So if you're being super harsh, that was an opportunity butchered for England, because men were open on the left-hand side. But again, good scramble from Wales, all part of them just trying to cling on to these moments, Alex, as we go into the final 20.
Yeah, good defence set there for Wales, under enormous pressure. You think they had a certainty to score a try in that corner there, and I think that's probably the first time George Ford hasn't quite made the right decision. A nice little ball here. I think Roebuck thinks he's going to get there, but he does not realise he's got Stewart, Chesham outside, literally walking in the corner.
Right, Itoje is back on, so he gets another brilliant reception from the Twickenham crowd, and some more cavalry poised for England, Grace.
Yeah, Marcus Smith and Henry Pollock both stripped and ready to go. One settling set of a Wales exit, and then I'm sure they'll be on.
Yeah, to the poster boys of English rugby, poised to come on for the final 17 minutes, with England 36 points to 7 up. And actually the second half is 7-all. So even though England have kind of had the game wrapped up for ages, that is definitely something for Wales to cling on to, as Edwards goes cross-field looking to expose Roebuck. Wasn't a million miles away. The ball does dribble out of play. It will be an England line-out.
Yeah, it's you've got to take that as a win, haven't you? 7-all second half, just trying to... We spoke about it, how do we stop that momentum of England? I know 36-0 or 29-0 it was, wasn't it? Mentally, it's a different game then, isn't it, for England, in terms of how they approach second half. I think that would have been the big talking point for both. It's like, how do we keep that foot on the pressure? And they haven't quite done that.
Good, really good test for Marcus Smith and Henry Pollock. This. Never mind the game. Just how are they going to fit into it? Are they going to make a change? Are they going to be able to get England sort of back on track?
Well, here goes Ben Earl from that England line-out. I'll give you some stats about the England line-out in a moment. Alex Cuthbert was singing its praises, and rightfully so. They've won 15 line-outs without losing one. As Tom Curry, what a man to bring off the bench, a man with multiple Lions Test caps. He's come on for Sam Underhill. Guy Pepper crashes into the Welsh defence. 30 metres out as Freeman is lurking on the inside shoulder of Mitchell. He's well caught by Wales, who physically have stepped up in this second half. Curry, short little pop ball. Chesham's almost away. Gets it to George Ford. Ford now, one-on-one with opposite man Edwards. He's caught 3 or 4 metres short, George Ford. They need someone to play scrum half. Here goes Trevor Davison. He's up to the line. He's then stripped, but it was a penalty. Oh, it's going to be a yellow card, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think you can commit an offence like that on the goal line and get away with it. Another yellow card for the Welsh. Trying to see who it was. The guilty man, is it Ben Thomas? I think it is Ben Thomas. Well, Trevor Davison won't get many opportunities like that to score for England. He was hauled down, and then an illegal rip from Thomas. So England had the penalty, and they'll stick it in the corner, Grace.
They absolutely will. England running those shapes over and over again, just got into a little bit of rhythm, managed to put Chesham into the hole that he's run through 2 or 3 times this game. This time he got his arms free and made the offload. Been very impressive carrying the ball today.
Yeah, and if the energy's just come out of the game a little bit, then arrival of Marcus Smith and Henry Pollock will certainly help shift that. Freddie Stewart off, so Smith's come on at fullback, Matt, with George Ford going the 18.
Tommy Freeman's going onto the wing. Two backs. Two backs coming off there?
Oh, well, Ben Earl into 12, it looks like then.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of gesticulations there from Henry Pollock bossing around, and yeah, it looks like Ben Earl's just popped into outside centre.
Yeah,
it's not a bad bit of
is that
flexibility, is it?
That to do with Roebuck probably coming back from injury, is it? I think 65 minutes is a good amount for him, isn't it?
For sure, yeah, and England then lose the line out, but Earl at centre, he's yet to start a test there for England. He's played a fair few minutes now.
No.
And if England are going to go into big matches with a 6-2 bench, i.e. 6 forwards and 2 backs, then having someone like Earl who can play in the back line is just going to be huge, especially at this stage of a game. So Earl has got into the centre. Tommy Freeman from outside centre to right wing. Marcus Smith to full-back. England with the line out. Right in front of you on the touchline, Paul Grayson.
Yeah, I was just looking at Ben Earl amongst the backs. He very much looks like a flanker.
Here he is on a short ball from Dingwall. As Mitchell finds Henry Pollock, who's on the ball and carrying with some relish over the 10-metre line. Switch, Mitchell to Ford. Oh, lovely ball out to Tommy Freeman on the right touchline. He had Marcus Smith outside him, but he looked after the ball. Freeman, Mitchell, Northampton teammate, out to Ford, who's been pulling the strings all day, finds another Saint in Pollock. Mitchell just short of the 22 in centre field as England drive on again. Mitchell now to the right, he had Rod, now Ford again, wide to Tommy Freeman. Freeman's up to the line, he goes inside to Pollock, and Henry Pollock scores. He grabbed a couple against Wales last year. He puts his fingers to his lips and celebrates in front of the crowd. And Henry Pollock's got England's second try of this second half, and it was nicely worked down that right touchline.
Oh, beautiful switch of play from George Ford, very, very late. Not just doing it himself, but taking players with him, created some kind of overlap. Yeah, there won't be quite the celebration that maybe Pollock was giving.
He's in touch. Yeah,
I think he was thinking of the celebration before he put the ball down there.
Genuinely though, if that is the case, that will
I want to show you a foot
go down really badly with Steve.
Let's not over-egg this TMO, or you're going to get I'm going to get on your back. You need to watch this once, and that is it.
Right. He's in touch.
It's so blatantly obvious. The only thing is the high tackle from the red player. As he got smashed in the face, that comes into consideration.
He probably would have scored that without that intervention from Tane Plumtree.
If 20 red touch the neck or not.
This could be a penalty try, I think.
But yeah, well, I mean, it should be, in some way, shape or form, it's going to be a try for England, I think. I mean, certainly can't be Pollock because he is in touch. But he has been drilled on the act of going down to score the try. He's been drilled across the neck, and therefore should be a penalty try, should it not?
He's definitely not dived early enough. I think he's thought about the celebration, and he's probably gone about 2 yards too far, but Tane Plumtree's arm is pulling hit his head and pulled him across, so I expect this to be a penalty try, I think.
Right, they'll just deliberate. Let's go back to Nathan at Newcastle.
Brentford have a penalty kick. Igor Thiago is standing over this to potentially put them into the lead. Up he comes and slots it away into the bottom corner. It was controversial. Penalty given for a handball by Jacob Murphy. VAR had a look but still decided to give it, and Brentford have come from behind to take the lead, 2-1.
Thanks, Nathan. Commentary on Sports Extra. Right, penalty try England. And a yellow card for Plumtree. I feel a bit for Plumtree because Pollock was going down, and Pollock, as you say, Alice Cuthbert, took too long, didn't he? And that will be something that maybe Steve Borthwick will speak to him about. But England do get their points. They do get their second try of this second half, and they do lead Wales by 43 points to 7.
Yeah, it's a good effort for Plumtree, and as he's gone down, there's not much more he can do really there, is it? Pollock would definitely have a word from, I think, from one of the coaching staff in terms of when you have that opportunity to dive at the line earlier, you've got to take it. I mean, he's got away with one a little bit, albeit with ill discipline from Plumtree, but Wales now 13 men in the last 13 minutes. This, we've got to see some heart here from the Welsh boys.
I get the feeling though with Steve Borthwick, he will be teaching them these types of lessons. This is a great game to be having those types of lessons. It's not they're going to win the game. It's a good reference point, a little bit like Ben Earl in the midfield. Yeah, great. Let's go. Give him the airtime. These are the games where he's going to learn how to do it, because if he does get thrust into a quarter-final or a Grand Slam decider, quarter-final, semi-final, final, England are in great shape.
England nicked the line out. Ben Spencer's on. Ollie Chesham was the one who won it. Here's Henry Arundel. He's actually touching the ball and not scoring for a change. Finds Pollock. Now there are numbers for England. George Ford out to the right. Marcus Smith. Wide it goes to Dingwall. Dingwall kicks for Freeman. It's charged down. Smith regathers just short of the 22. Bevan Rodd sail to sail. Still Bevan Rodd. Great carry and a good offload to Curry. And Marcus Smith to within 6 or 7. Excellent rugby again from England. They've picked up their game now. Ben Spencer tackled by Deeves just short of the 5-metre line. With 11.5 minutes to go, here's captain Atoje. Curry gets it on to Earl. Earl, good ball. Tommy Freeman won't be denied this time. That's an excellent England try. With a load of good interplay between backs and forwards. Tommy Freeman wags his finger in celebration. We're hearing again from the TMO, and maybe some kind of interference.
So Pierre, there is a neck roll.
There's a neck roll, so this will be disallowed if the referee agrees. Luke Cowan-Dickie.
Yeah. We've got a neck roll by White there.
Well, I mean,
the mark?
there may well be a penalty here for Wales on the...
No try, neck roll by White.
On the clear out. Yeah, fair enough. He's grabbing him by the neck. You're not allowed to do it.
5 meters mid-post.
But let's just have a little moment just to understand the interplay there from England. And I mean, wow. I know it didn't end up with a try, but the French are doing that against Ireland, where it's social media crazy. All right, that was class.
Right, I'm conscious I've kept Martin waiting for half-time from Celtic. Martin.
Celtic 0, Dundee 0. Dundee really growing in confidence as this has progressed. Their defender, Luke Graham, perhaps with the best chance. That was diverted behind. Celtic lacking much direct threat on goal at all. This cup tie still very evenly poised.
Thanks very much, Martin. Back with you in the second half. So no try. Disallowed for that neck roll by Luke Cowan-Dickie. And Wales clear up to the 10-metre line, just shy from the penalty. Still they're going to be with just 13 men for the next 5 minutes. They lose the line out straight away. Cowan-Dickie has a hell of a ball off his left hand, and now Fraser Dingwall is all class and composure, and he gets the offload away well to Earl. That new look centre pairing of Dingwall and Earl. Spencer out to Curry, out the back to Ford, finds Dingwall again on the arc. He gets it away to Arundel. Arundel ships it to Curry, not the best of passes. Guy Pepper it was on this left-hand touchline. He couldn't claim it, but it was a horrible ball from Arundel right around his bootlaces in greasy conditions, and Wales left the line out. 10 minutes to go. Alex Cuthbert.
Yeah, Wales just struggling to win any sort of line out there, whether it's a 4-man, 5-man. Usually 4-man, there's a certainty to win it, and the likes of Chesham, he's so good in the line out, isn't he, as well? He's had a really good game, I thought. Pepper as well. Wales just not able to get any sort of possession or territory. It's all England, and to go back to that disallowed try, it was like every single player on the pitch touched the ball before they banged it in the back of the net, isn't it? It was like that France-esque, wasn't it, literally.
9.5 minutes to go here. England 43, Wales 7. Wales are going to play much of the last few minutes with just 13 men. Still have 5 minutes on the Ben Thomas sin bin and about 7 on the Plumtree. Right, let's get half-time from Newcastle with Nathan. It's all been happening for you there, Nathan.
All been happening. Brentford lead by 2-1 at the break. Boos at half-time, though, for that controversial penalty given for the Jacob Murphy handball. Igor Thiago put away the spot kick just before the break. Botman with a header, Yana with a header. It all means, Chris, it is half-time. Newcastle 1, Brentford 2.
Thanks a lot, Nathan. Yeah, and timing's going to work really well, because in about 10 minutes when that resumes for the second half, we'll be there for commentary here on 5 Live, because England-Wales has about 8.5 minutes to run as Marcus Smith goes back to gather a kick from Wales. He's underneath his crossbar. Smith, he's dancing out the tackle. That's nice. That will get the Twickenham crowd going. And he finds Pepper. Does he? No, he loses it. And Grady has it for Wales. Do Wales have another try in them? They only have 13 men, so we're pretty tough. And they get turned over straight away. Spencer to Ford. Ford has so much space to kick into. The chase from England not quite as intense as during the first half, but Arundel is up there as Reece Samet looks for a kind of banana kick, Juan Martin Hernandez style. Marcus Smith, will he kick? Yes, he will. That looks a pretty handy one, unless it's out on the full. It is out on the full, he's overcooked it. I know the Twickenham crowd against 30 men would have loved to have seen that kept ball in hand, wouldn't they? As Wales will get the line out right below us here, just inside the English half.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go at him there. There was Tom Francis, loose head in front of him. I thought he would have, he's had a little bit of a run. Ball in play there, and you could tell it, there's not quite the zest as on that kick chase on both sides at the moment. But yeah, England looking a couple of turnovers. They look really sharp on transition, don't they?
Yeah, I think for Marcus Smith though, man in his position, what he's got to prove in this game, they're the kicks that have just got to find touch. He's got to be 10 out of 10 every single time he comes on if he wants that 10 jersey.
But would you like to see him run it, Grace?
He did have an opportunity, but it's one of those things. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. Just made a brilliant break out of his 22, and then the pass got knocked down. So second time he gets it, plays the percentage option and gets it wrong.
Well, Edwards kicks, Arundel claims, and he's off Henry. Oh, he's trying to go on the outside. Tackle coming in by Wainwright. That'll be a penalty. High tackle from Aaron Wainwright on Henry Arundel. He sensed an opportunity to skid him down the left-hand touchline. I think it would just be a penalty, nothing more. And England have a chance, Alex, to go into Welsh territory to try and get the 50 up with their final few plays of this game.
Yeah, I know Arundel's fast, but I don't think he's that fast with how much space he had with Wainwright. Wainwright hasn't got it quite right, has he? But geez, he's electric, isn't he, when he does get that ball, Arundel. He hasn't really... I know he scored 3 tries, but we haven't really seen him involved in the game as much as you'd like, would you?
No, he doesn't come across as a sort of player that
float round like an Ashton,
yeah,
does he?
He doesn't quite read the game to where he can lay those skills and pace down yet. It'll come. It's definitely better than when he was first playing for England, that is for sure.
Well, he's got some space here, trying to get past Adams. He finds Freeman. Freeman's away. Ben Spencer on the inside. Freeman kicks for Spencer, but he just didn't kick it in field enough. Otherwise, Spencer would have had a run in. They've gone quickly from the goal line dropout. That's nicely done, isn't it? From Lewis Rees-Zammit. George Ford with the England forward sloping back a bit. He then passes to Arundel, who kicks. That's a nice play from Arundel to put Freeman away. He kicks for himself and gathers. That's nice from the hat-trick man, Henry Arundel. Ben Spencer, his Bath teammate, digs for the ball. Marcus Smith at first receiver. George Ford at second receiver. Kick pass from Ford to Pollock. Pollock drops it, but referee happy it didn't go forwards. Pollock tries to get outside Thomas Williams. Sets it up just short of the 22. Denied a try a few moments ago was Pollock. He'll be desperate for another chance. Curry goes inside. As England set up just short of the 22. 5 minutes to go at Twickenham. Spencer overcooked. And it will be a line out to Wales as the game becomes a bit scrappy in the final stages.
Yeah, well, one thing for sure, mark my words, Steve Borthwick is watching these replacements like a hawk. And the reason I'm saying that is because this England squad is becoming incredibly competitive. To get in this 23 is a big deal.
I think getting the score of 30, really, that's how good a standard of player they got.
Just like that with Ben Spencer kicking the ball straight out from that. That is a massive black mark on his performance, because the scrum half berth is so competitive. And the same for all the positions in this England squad. You've got to be so careful. Just because the game is won, and you can run around, like the proverbial blue fly, but you've got to deliver the accuracy, because when the bench comes on in the game that you've got to win and it's everything on the line, Steve Borthwick wants to have faith and trust in those players to be able to deliver.
And another yellow card for England, Paul Grayson. Is that Tom Curry?
Yeah, Tom Curry for a no-arms tackle off the ball, just running obstruction basically in the middle of the field. And to Matt's point, they're just the needless little bits that might keep you on the bench or nudge you out.
Yeah, I'll add to that point with Dawes in terms of, I actually think they look at this second half more than anything really, in terms of where the progression for the England team can be is in this half, isn't it? Not the first half, because they were absolute dominant, weren't they? But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what his post-match interview will be like.
Under 4 minutes to go. England 43, Wales 7, and Wales looking to finish strongly. They've got one try. They're fans who have come here really without too much hope or expectation. Would love to go back down the M4 with a second try to cheer, because the second half has been all right from a Welsh point of view. It was 29-0 to England at the break, so 14-7 second half for England as Spencer finds Pollock. The game just going through the motions a bit in the final few moments. Commentary on the way from Newcastle Brentford. Brentford 2-1 up at half time. Second half starting in about 5, and we'll be across there for that second half with Ailey Barber and Pat Nevin at St James's Park. Up goes Arundel from Spencer's kick. He can't take it, and Harry Deeves in his scrum cap gathers for Wales. Thomas Williams deep to Dan Edwards, out to Ben Thomas. It's a little bit deep and a little bit shovelly from Wales, but Reece Samet, that is pace, and then he kicks out on the full. So a litany of mistakes from both sides, but you could just see, and we had this the other night, Alex Cuthbert, in the Stade de France, the real pace in Test rugby makes such a difference, doesn't it? And Reece Samet does have it. How can they get as much out of that as possible, Wales?
Yeah, I think I spoke about in terms of fullback, maybe is that the position, but against a team like England who are so well organised in terms of their kick compete, their battle, he's not going to get that many opportunities. And when you're not on the front foot, I want him out the back of these little pods with forwards, but they just haven't won that, have they, up front? But maybe later on in the tournament, teams, they may have an opportunity, like Scotland and Ireland, maybe, no disrespect to them, or he may have more of an impact, but his pace, there's nothing like it, is there? When he gets the ball, he's just absolutely gone, isn't he?
England with the line out after Reece Samet kicked out on the full. Fraser Dingwall, who's going 80, he sets it up, and Spencer is then sacked quarterback style by Deeves, but that was illegal from the replacement flank, and England will get the penalty. And Matt Dawson, 90 seconds left. I'm sure all the England fans in here want to see England go for the corner, set up a clever move and get over for a score that could take up a half century.
Well, there you go, first part read like a book, Mr Jones. Maybe a little bit further out than George Ford would have liked, who's got player of the match, and deservedly so. He has marshalled England superbly well today, but I think it would be a fitting end to this England performance to threaten in the way that they have, particularly in that first half. They were dominant and dangerous, and it does certainly bode well for the next few weeks.
We were waiting for substitution. We are waiting for the substitution.
How clinical they were. I know Wales gave them a lot of opportunity, didn't they? But I think that's what they'll be grasping at. How can we get that performance over 80 minutes? I think that's what Steve will be talking about after the game.
Good. Let's go.
Well, England have kicked us, as Matt was explaining, to about 15 metres out or so. Then they threw into the line-out. Ref wasn't happy. A bit of a stoppage, and we resume. England 43 points to 7 up. 1 minute exactly to go on the clock. And it's one in the line-out by England. Maro Itoje, Ollie Chess and Guy Pepper all standing up in that maul, trying to wrestle the Welsh away. They work the short side here. Tommy Freeman. Freeman still going up to the line, scores Tommy Freeman. Well, whether it's centre or wing, he's a try-scoring threat. He's threatened to score a few times today. This time he gets over. The England fans on their feet. England get another try.
What a player. What a player. There is no right he should score that try. No right whatsoever. Just a beautiful little time break from Cowan Dickey down the short side, but that's really just to recycle, to bring it inside and put pressure on the Welsh line. But Tommy Freeman's not having it. He sees that line and he steps off his right foot. He switches the ball from right to left arm, back to right arm, finish. Lovely.
He scored in his last 7 Six Nations matches. The last game of the 24 Six Nations, every game in the 25 Six Nations, and the first one in the 26 Six Nations. George Ford for 50. It's hit the right post, would you believe? He wanted that badly, George Ford, as did the crowd, but it's good enough from England. Ford, like the rest of the England players, not much celebration, handshakes and pats on the back all round. Steve Borthwick's pretty unmoved too. It's the start of a campaign England hope will culminate in the Stade de France going for a slam on the final day. Loads of rugby to go until then, but they've got Wales out the way. England have won by 48 points to 7. A word from England on England from Matt Dawson and Paul Grayson, then on Wales from Alex Cutler. Matt?
Yeah, sort of muted celebration from England, because in that second half Wales put them through it, tested them physically, but my goodness me, when England wanted to turn it on today, it looked fabulous. The England fans are happy. I think the England players are happy. Plenty to work on, which is a great positive position for England to be in going into the Scotland game. Grace?
Yeah, fantastic in the breakdown, both in attack and defence. The accuracy and the work rate for England to get into good position. So forwards who are scrumming and mauling, but happy to run decoy lines so that the decision makers can put the ball into space. First half hour of this Test match, England were excellent.
And Alex, on Wales, 48-7. Could have been worse at 29-0. Is that about where you thought this might end up today?
I'm not sure. I just think we lacked physicality, we lacked ideas. Our skills were awful. Too many drop balls, penalties. We had, I think, 3 yellow cards. You're not going to win an international game with that many cards against a top quality side. And I think there's still so many aspects of the game Wales need to work on. Defence, their attack. I still wouldn't know how we want to play. I'm just being honest. I'm trying to find the positives, but this week they're going to have some tough conversations going into France on Sunday.
Yeah, France roll into Cardiff on Sunday. For England, it's up to Murrayfield, a Scotland side stinging Mark Chapman after losing in Rome earlier. England 48, Wales 7 final score.